been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, they don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports U.S. Supreme Court justices on Tuesday wrestled with the scope of police authority to search vehicles without warrants, with Chief Justice John Roberts referencing the shiny red convertible taken for a joyride in the 1986 comedy film Ferris Bueller's Day Off to make a serious legal point. The justices heard arguments in two cases in which convicted defendants are seeking to have key evidence against them thrown out because it was obtained by police officers through vehicle searches conducted without a court-issued warrant. One case involved a stolen motorcycle that was covered by a tarp and parked on private property. The other involved a rental car driven by a man who was not named on the agreement with the rental agency. At issue is whether police in the two cases violated the U.S. Constitution's Fourth Amendment, which protects against unreasonable searches and seizures. In the motorcycle case, Roberts and other justices seemed concerned about issuing a broad ruling in favor of law enforcement that would let police officers not just inspect the immediate area outside a property without a warrant, but also potentially inside a house if a vehicle was located in there. Under the Fourth Amendment, police need a warrant to search a house unless there is an emergency situation. In the case of convicted defendant Ryan Collins, the motorcycle was a few feet from the house. In Ferris Bueller's Day Off, starring Matthew Broderick, three teenagers skip school and take a ride in a red Ferrari that was parked inside a showroom-type space apparently attached to a house. After mentioning the film's car, Roberts asked Trevor Cox, the state of Virginia's lawyer who was defending the police search, whether he was arguing that police can just go into a house without a warrant because a car is mobile and they got it in there somehow so they can get it out. Other justices voiced similar concerns, including Neil Gorsuch, who seemed troubled about police officers being able to search garages and other outbuildings without a warrant. Cox said existing legal precedent allowing police to search vehicles without a warrant when they have probable cause should extend to vehicles kept on private property, potentially including those kept in garages, although he said the court could exclude dwellings. The second case involved a defendant named Terrence Bird, who was stopped by police in 2014 while driving a car his girlfriend had rented. Police said they could search his car without a warrant and without his consent because he was not listed on the rental agreement. The officers found heroin and a bulletproof vest in the car. Justice Stephen Breyer appeared to support a ruling that would prohibit a warrantless search in such a case if the driver has the permission of the person named in the rental agreement to use the vehicle, as long as the driver did not commit a crime in taking possession of the car. Rulings in both cases are due by the end of June.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
An alarming UN report on magical realism released this week warns of increased incidences of women's tears flooding the entire world. A UN committee linked the catastrophic phenomena to matronly widows, commonly named Tita and Esmeralda, who wept for up to 90 days on end about their estranged lovers.
Just consider how detrimental it is to a nation's workforces to have thousands of its plantation overseers simply disappear one night into the midsummer fog, only to return decades later without having aged a single day. Put simply, if such phenomena are not immediately halted, the effects on the international community will be catastrophic.
The nation's limo drivers spent a magical prom night playing scratch-off tickets in the parking lot this week. According to sources, chauffeurs nationwide began their enchanting evening by cramming swank magazines into their glove compartments before dropping off their students at a school gym, working through a stunning assortment of lotto cards, and dining upon a wide range of microwave-heated taquitos from a nearby 7-Eleven.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free to bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype. And, of course, you can Skype into the show at Skype username LRN.FM. Welcome to the program tonight. With you in the studio, it's Ian,
Mark, and Will.
All right, so we'll talk to you about anything that you want to discuss. I actually spent the day up in Concord, New Hampshire at the State House today, testifying on some legislation that was proposed. One of them proposed to actually allow college students or anybody to carry guns concealed while on college campuses in New Hampshire. And there were a lot of people that came out to speak in favor of that piece of legislation. Of course, I also spoke in favor of it. And then following that, there was a different piece of legislation that proposed to ban the open carry of firearms in a variety of places, including inside churches, inside town buildings, inside libraries, inside like buildings with over 5,000 potential like stadiums or whatever.
We ain't banning it from mine.
How many times did they use the sort of term like a vapor of fear in our community?
Oh, there was definitely some fear-mongering going on by the police that came out to the university police came out to support came out to oppose the bill that would make it legal to carry on campus, acting as though there's going to be gunfire everywhere, even though apparently it's been legal in Texas and Utah on college campuses there.
And not a single shot fired.
Right. The state reps actually specifically asked these guys, well, are you aware of any reports from Utah or Texas of any incidents? And, of course, the cops had to admit they weren't aware of that.
We're just here to make you scared so that you'll give us the ability to throw people in jail.
Blood in the streets. As if passing constitutional carry this past year as if there's massive violence since that.
Ask Governor Sununu. We're in a violent, drug-filled apocalypse right now.
Right. That's what he said when he explained why he wasn't going to be signing legalization, which passed the state representatives yesterday, 2 days ago. So that's one of the things that I was doing today, and I've got some pretty entertaining video that's not online yet, but hopefully it'll go up sometime this weekend. Because I'm probably going back there tomorrow, so I'm going to have a bunch of video to publish. But there's one guy in particular. His name is Delmar Burridge, and he is one of the absolute worst state reps up there. And, of course, he comes out of our very own Keene, New Hampshire. This is the guy who, more than a decade ago, I wrote about him on freekeene.com, and he's a former cop. So, you're already in bad territory there with, that. Former cop, former detective or whatever, who is now, I think, working in some kind of college. I think he might work
state and goon enforcer.
He probably is armed, but he doesn't want you to be armed.
Yeah.
In fact, it was his bill that would propose the banning of open carry of firearms in a variety of places, like I said, churches, large stadiums, town halls, and things like that. And he didn't seem to have much support on the committee that he was on. And when I got up there, I actually, in my testimony, I said, well, what he said was during his testimony, because each bill sponsor testifies first, and he talked about how he wanted to change the culture. And when I got up there, I said, well, look, if you want to change the culture, and by the way, the culture in New Hampshire is a culture of gun friendliness, that this is a place where people grow up with guns. A lot of them, they grow up around guns. Even a lot of the Democrats have guns in New Hampshire. And that's just kind of the culture here from my understanding. And I didn't grow up here.
I grew up here, and that's exactly right. And it's not just New Hampshire, but it's the shifting that's been going on. My father grew up in Lowell, Mass, just across the border, and he used to go to school when he was in high school with a rifle because he competed on the high school rifle shooting team.
Did he have to check it at the school or anything like that? Or
he would. The principal had a locker and they locked it in, but there weren't any mass shootouts on the buses or drive-bys on the school bus.
But he successfully walked to school every day with a gun over his shoulder without
my grandfather, who spent a year, part of his life he spent as a professional hunting guide. But when he was in school, he would bicycle to school with a shotgun strapped across his handlebars to go hunting after school. And this wasn't up in upstate New Hampshire. This was down in Massachusetts.
What do you mean back then. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. Like, okay, Columbine happened my senior year in high school.
Yep.
So, like, the beginning of it was my senior year in high school. When we were kids, it was normal to see, like, a gun rack in the back of somebody. I mean, it's rural Appalachian Tennessee. But still, like, you would see gun racks in people's trucks. It was no big deal to see, like, a rifle rack with, like, a 22, maybe a 30-06. You know, we would shoot at gophers on the way to school. I mean, it's totally illegal, but we would shoot at gophers on the way to school from the truck because we'd be bored. And man, I really should probably shut up, huh?
The statute of limitations is probably passed. That's 20 years ago, man.
20.
You're setting a bad example.
25.
Yeah. So we had those bills, and so this guy, the Delmar Burridge, who. Let me give you a little more of his history. If you were to search his name on Free Keene, you'd find the old stories about him. But years ago, one of the Free Keene bloggers, his name was Toby, he's a New Hampshire native at the time, he I forget what the issue was. I guess cannabis was being talked about, some sort of cannabis-related thing, and Toby had written a letter to the editor or something like that, and Delmar Burridge had responded to him saying that he thought Toby should drop a dime on his friends. In fact, he said, talking about cannabis possession, he even said that it was thrilling to drop a dime on your friends, to snitch on your friends for possession of cannabis. That's what this guy, who's a state representative, actually had to say.
Let me take a quote from Ricky. You have no on us.
Yeah, he is just one of the worst. And on top of that, his voting record is just terrifying. I mean, he's one of the worst.
Does he have an NHLA grade yet?
Of course. Yeah, he's been in for a long time. He was in when I first moved here as a state rep, and then he lost an election for a few years, and then he got back in. So he's in there now. And he was giddy with excitement today over the issue of banning guns. Because when I got up there, I said to him, look, if you want to change the culture here, then the way to do it is from the bottom up, not the top down. You're talking about forcing a change on people who probably aren't interested in having it happen. And he was like nodding his head, and he was looking very excited, and like he was totally in to telling people what to do. And I mean, just visibly excited, like bouncing up and down, kind of excited about being able to control people.
And as somebody that grew up here, I would say that there has been a cultural change, and it hasn't been for the good.
Really?
The fact that we've had this battle over the past decade trying to restore our rights. When I was younger, it wasn't an issue because you could, you had your guns, you could hunt wherever you wanted, you could defend yourself, and so it's saying that you need to change the culture. Well, geez, there's been a lot of people who have come into the state with their liberal ideas and have changed the culture and not for the better. And so, we're fighting back. And as a native, we see the Free Staters not as invaders, but as reinforcements against a tide of liberal leftism that's been harming the state.
And the Free Staters are a group of libertarian types that have been moving and migrating here from all around the country and around the world.
Yeah, fantastic people.
Yep, to work towards more freedom, and I'm sure there were some of them in that House committee or that were sitting in there testifying. So I said to him, look, if you want to change the culture, the way to do it, be a good neighbor is to do it from the bottom up. Try to influence people. Like I said, I'm trying to influence the culture. Sometimes I open carry. I wasn't doing it in that particular instance, but I said I sometimes open carry, and the reason I do it is I think people should see guns. And his idea is, well, he doesn't want people to see guns because some people get uncomfortable at the sight of a little gun.
Oh, because law should always be built about whether or not your jinnies are resolved.
I'm triggered. Plus, this is the first step. If they were to be successful at restricting open carry in certain places, then they would try to restrict concealed carry in those places.
Absolutely.
So, it's a slippery slope as well.
And then open carry everywhere else.
Oh, yeah. 855, 450, free like freedom. 85. It doesn't have a chance of passing, by the way.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up, and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh, My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything that you want. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Mike, and Will.
We've got Skype as well, so if you want to Skype into the show and join us there, you can do that. The Skype username is LRN.FM. Plus, you need to know about Dash. I actually just got the local car shop, the automotive repair shop that we have here in Keene, that started accepting Bitcoin last year. Got them set up to accept Dash as of tonight. It was one of the things I did right before I got here to the studio. So that's right. Now in Keene, New Hampshire, if you need to get your car repaired, you need to get an oil change, you need to get something done with your car, you want to buy a car. Every now and then they got one for sale out front. You want to get your car fixed and do it for cryptocurrency, this is the place to do it. In fact, there's nowhere else in New Hampshire, I don't believe any other car shops are taking cryptocurrency.
Awesome.
Yeah. So now you can do it with Dash. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, it can be private and easy, fees are low, and transactions are quick and can be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. Much cheaper than with Bitcoin. In fact, I was helping him get his Bitcoin Cash out today because he had Bitcoin, the shop owner. He had Bitcoin. Again, he started taking it in early 2017. So when the fork happened for Bitcoin Cash in August, he had some Bitcoin by then. And he just, he's a busy guy. He barely had heard about Bitcoin Cash. So when I went in there, I was like, hey, man, did you get your Bitcoin Cash yet? He said, no. And I said, well, I can help you with that. And so actually, luckily, he had the Jaxx wallet, which is kind of a buggy wallet in a lot of ways. But one of the things that they did get right is they made it easy for people to break out their Bitcoin Cash. So luckily, it only took me like a minute. I mean, I went into his wallet less than that. I selected the Bitcoin Cash. I activated it, and it said, hey, you've got some Bitcoin Cash. Why don't you claim it? Okay, claimed. And so he had about a third of a Bitcoin Cash that he got to claim there, which was like a free $1,000.
Free money.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
You got to be Oprah today.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but he was happy. He was definitely happy.
You get free money.
But my point was, I got to see his transactions there, and I noticed that nobody had paid with Bitcoin since like August.
Oh, you mean since I got my van fixed?
Must have been. You must have been the last person to do it.
You got to say that the Bitcoin holds its value a heck of a lot better than your Chevy.
Well, I get what you're saying, but the reason why people weren't paying, Mike, is because of the fees. I mean, because we had people paying with Bitcoin before that. It was the fees that were going crazy. That was what changed around August. And so, of course, I explained to him what was going on and why the fees were the way they were with Bitcoin. And so he was really excited that now he can, now his customers can start paying with crypto again because the fees were holding him back.
That's why we announced the value of Bitcoin in the cost of median transaction fees rather than how much Bitcoin is worth on the Call to Freedom.
What is today's median transaction fee?
$18. $18 of uselessness and refusal to listen to the market, non-utility.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
So
exactly.
Dash is one of the solutions, and you can go to learn more about it over at dash.org. That's dash.org. As we continue, we'll take your calls and thoughts. We go to Stephen. He's in Ohio and on via Skype. Hello, Stephen.
I never knew you did open carry activism in the past.
I have done that, yep.
With rifles or pistol?
Just a pistol.
Yeah. I've partaken in it in the past with a rifle, and a lot of people seem to think that all you're going to accomplish is scaring people and freaking people out. And while I've noticed that some
scare people, that's true.
That will happen, but
while I've noticed that a lot of people do seem to get a little on edge, a lot more of the time you'll get people asking you questions and you can actually educate them. Like, is it legal to do that? Well, yes, it is. Yep. You are allowed to carry
in some places. This is not legal advice. Stefan is not an attorney. It may not be legal where you're listening. Keep that in mind. But apparently you're saying you believe that it is legal in Ohio to do.
Yes, it's legal in Ohio. My city doesn't have any statutes. The only state, I think, that has outright banned it altogether was Illinois.
So why do you carry openly? What's your reason for it?
Because I think that people need to know that they have the right to be able to do so. We need to understand that we have the right to have guns, and part of that right is being able to take them with us wherever we want. It doesn't just stop at your front door. If you want to take a rifle out, you should be able to take a rifle out. And now, I know some people have the opinion like it's okay to open carry a pistol because it's not going to freak too many people out. You don't want to be strapping an AR-15 to your back. And I understand that viewpoint, but I don't think you should be deterred from strapping an AR-15 to your back if you want to get the point across.
I would say that everyone should be strapping on an AR-15 when they leave the house, and that when you go to visit someone,
not that comfortable,
and that when you visit someone else's house, it should be a matter of common courtesy for them to put your AR-15 in the closet while you're visiting, just because that's how it happened in the old days. I mean, you had along with the coat rack, you would have a gun rack right by the door, and people come over, they put their guns in the gun rack. That's just common courtesy in America as it was growing.
I don't know. It's clunky enough to carry around a pistol, let alone a rifle. I mean, as far as like getting in and out of cars and having to move around with it.
The whole open carry thing originally was the compromise. Open carry is the compromise between the anti-gun nuts and the people who want to carry, because the anti-gun nuts were like, well, concealed carry is more dangerous because I can't see the firearm. The officers can't see if you're armed.
Yeah, but now that you're open carrying, you're triggering all this.
Exactly. Now they're still not happy. And then even
they
further,
won't be happy until guns are banned.
In some places, just to make sure that we reiterate this point, in some places, open carrying your firearm is considered brandishing in some towns.
Well, if you're carrying it in your hands,
to have it on your hip openly in some places. Well, not here, but places where they don't have open carry laws, where you have to carry concealed if you carry. To carry openly is the same as to like be walking around waving it around in public.
Yeah, why don't they apply that to police? I mean,
that's why I support the idea of permitless carry, because I think people would be less scared, because you can stick a gun in your hip and nobody sees it, and it's completely passive. It's not going to affect anybody.
Do you guys need a permit for open carry in Ohio?
We don't need a permit for open carry, but we do need a permit for concealed carry, and the restrictions are so ridiculous that you are better off doing what I ended up going for, which is to get the Indiana permit, which is 100% valid here, and they issued a non-residence.
That's awesome.
Sweet. Nice.
Just find a way around it.
Yeah,
everywhere
you need 8 hours. You need 8 hours training here, Indiana. They're just like, just send us $150. We'll give you the permit. It's all good.
Right. Wherever the state makes a wall, build a ladder or grab a shovel.
Build a bridge. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, Stefan, I want to give you some credit. You were the one who actually encouraged us to. I mean, there have been a couple people who've been asking for it, but
the Discord server.
You pushed it over the edge last night, and
it's going good.
It was funny too because Will, you and I, we were just talking about like options for streaming the show into a chat room or something like that, and then it turns out there's some sort of bot that we might be able to get to do this. But Stefan, you set up a Discord server, and the original idea was a Free Talk Live one, but I said, let's do LRN. And then there can be a Free Talk Live room in the LRN server, and one for Call to Freedom, which is Will's new weekday show. And it's there, and there's like, almost 24 people that came in there?
I think we need a room for Brother Ricky to have a Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth room.
Commonwealth room.
Didn't somebody show up with his handle last night?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, if you want to hang on and talk about what Discord is, you're welcome to. It's up to you. More coming up here in moments, because some of our listeners may not know. It's Free Talk Live.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Juicy Juice, 100% juice, providing a full serving of fruit in every 4 ounces. Visit us at juicyjuice.com. When it comes to nutrition, kids need both fruits and vegetables every day to stay healthy and grow. For the ideal mix, your kid should have at least 1.5 cups of any veggie or 100% veggie juice, and 1 cup of any fruit or 100% fruit juice a day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You can't win if you don't enter, and you actually can improve your chances of winning a prize drawing if you wrinkle up your entry blank. I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com, and I speak from experience. Why this works: if they'll be spinning the drum before drawing, your entry blank will move around more than, and not adhere to, other perfectly flat entry blanks. And if they don't spin the drum and merely reach into a box full of other perfectly flat entry blanks, many of which are sticking together, yours will feel different to the person reaching in. When you win, act surprised. And if you're looking for work, this is a metaphor. For more tips on sticking out in a world where just too much blends into the blah, 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 hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free and bring up anything that you want right here. The toll free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, it's Ian,
Mike,
and Will.
And you can join us in real life at Anarchapulco coming up in about a month or so from now, February 15th through the 18th. It's happening at the Princess Resort right there on the beach in Acapulco, Mexico. It's going to be a beautiful location. I actually was at that location last year because there's like 3 resorts that this company owns. And the one that they had in Acapulco at last year was like 20 minutes from the beach. You had to kind of shuttle out, and they shuttled you to the Princess Resort, which was just absolutely stunning. You're going to love it if you're there, and you'll get to see great liberty-oriented speakers like Ron Paul. Yeah, that's right. Ron Paul is going to be keynoting Anarchapulco, where they're going to be making anarchy great again. Also speaking, G. Edward Griffin, Jeffrey Tucker, Roger Ver, Larkin Rose, Jeff Berwick, Bruce Fenton, Brett Venot, Julia Taransky, Dana Martin, Juan Galt, Adam Kokesh, Kerry Wedler, Vityadlaika, and Sterling Lujan. You can also enjoy live music from Jordan Page, Backwards, Rob Hustle, and more. It's February 15th through the 18th for the main event, but there are other sort of related events happening as well. You can get the full list of those, which include a health and wellness retreat and Change Media University over at anarchapulco.com. Again, use code FTL like Free Talk Live, and you'll get 10% off your tickets. That's code FTL at anarchapulco.com. We'll see you in February for that event. We've got Stefan on the line in Ohio. We've been talking about open carry and the pro-gun culture, the pro-self-defense culture here in New Hampshire, which is probably one of the reasons why New Hampshire is either like the number 1 or number 2 safest state as far as the lowest murder rate.
Lowest homicide, murder, assault, rape, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's probably because there's such widespread gun ownership and the willingness to protect oneself here. But anyway, Stefan is on the line with us here in Ohio. We were talking. You'd called in about guns, but I wanted to give you credit for setting up our Discord server last night. Oops.
What was that?
That was Local Bitcoins, actually, but it wasn't me. Anyway.
Oops.
So
New Hampshire is 7th, by the way. Just gonna
What's
say
that?
New Hampshire is 7th when it comes to gun murder.
No, that's
lowest.
not correct.
7th lowest. 7th lowest.
Gun murders? There's no way that's true. I mean, it's like 1 out of every 100,000 here.
I'm getting 7 out of every 100,000.
Take a look.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'd never heard that. What year is that statistic from?
2013.
Okay. No, maybe it was a bizarre year.
That's still fairly low though. So I'll give credit.
Recently, it's been 1 or 2. It's usually New Hampshire and Vermont that are at the top of that list.
Maybe for the overall murder rate, and because a lot of the drug overdoses are being treated as homicides because of the replacement of heroin with fentanyl.
These are firearm deaths.
Firearm deaths? I got it. Yeah, I got it.
I don't buy that one.
Number 1.
What was number 1?
Alaska, apparently.
Okay, that's plausible. They're pretty gun freedom oriented place there.
Yeah.
But anyway, where were the statistics coming from, by the way? Just curious.
This was the FBI's crime table in 2013.
Huh. Yeah, I think that probably shook out in 2014, 15,
Oh, when
16.
I said Alaska was number 1, I didn't mean it was like the number 1 on the least amount of firearm deaths. It was number 1, 20 per 100,000.
Oh, God. That's a surprise.
Next is Louisiana, then Alabama, Mississippi, then Wyoming, and it goes down the list. Seems to be Midwestern states that are the lowest. But anyway, we were on the topic of the Discord, and I'm just going to say that if you guys are listening, it'd be a good idea for you to join because it's already fairly active.
Yeah, there was a couple dozen people that went in there over the last 24 hours. I mean, it hasn't even been open in 24 hours. We started it late last night at like 10, 11 at night Eastern time, so we're not even through a full day. And we hadn't even mentioned it on the air. I don't know if you talked about it at all on your show today, Will.
I talk about Discord, but I usually talk about the
crypto
Vertcoin. Yeah, the crypto ones, because a lot of them sponsor the faucets that we give away for cryptocurrency. The Vertcoin Discord chat room, all the free Vertcoin we give away comes from their Discord.
But you guys actually have a chat room on this Discord for Call to Freedom. So anyway, this is the first time that we're actually mentioning it on the air. You can get to it easily by going to discord.lrn.fm. That's all you got to do. Just punch that into your browser, and then there's an app that you can download that'll get you in there. And it's basically a text chat, but also it has voice chat as well. So you can do one or the other or both. As I understand it, and I'm brand new to it, so I mean, if I'm misdescribing it, please let me know. But that's what it seems to be to me, Steph.
Yeah, and you can use it on anything. You can even use it on web browsers. It has a web browser option. So if you type in discord.lrn.fm and you want to try it out before you install the application, you can actually try it out on the web browser.
That's pretty handy.
I don't have it installed.
Right. So you're just doing the web browser.
I just do it on the web browser. I've never installed it on my computer.
So. And there's different chat rooms in there. So there's like a room. There's rooms for Free Talk Live and Call to Freedom. But there's also just sort of like general chat rooms as well. Crypto discussion. So I mean, the stuff that people want to talk about. Right. We decided to start with. We're keeping it simple. There's not an overwhelming number of channels or anything like that. Just the basics. And I've already heard that maybe Ernie Hancock might be interested in coming on with promoting it as well. So I figure any LRN show that is actually going to actively promote this on the air, they'll get their own room. Yeah, they'll get their own room. Cool. Otherwise, it would be too many.
Oh yeah, we talk about Discord all the time. It's one of the best places to find out information about up and coming currencies. You want to meet the developers of some of these new currencies. You can usually chat with them in person on Discord, and if you can't,
on a different server.
On different servers, different servers that you find.
Although one of the Vertcoin guys came in last night. He was the first person to come in.
Yeah.
So you never know who's going to show up. Anyway.
That's definitely good. Thanks for giving the shout-out, though, guys. It's
really awesome. We're going to come up with some promos maybe and start running those on the network to try to get more people involved. And then, we'll do some live reads for it just to kind of, get the word out about this thing, because people want to talk. Like the listeners, even if they don't want to call in, they still want to talk with each other about stuff. And we had a chat room, and we still do have an old IRC Internet Relay chat. This is the old school.
Is that still running?
Chat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why wouldn't it be? IRC is going to run forever, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, the LRN chat room there has been there for a long time, but it kind of gotten taken over by some Cantwell trolls like a year ago, and I don't know, just kind of interest in that dropped off the radar.
Sort of a neckbeard thing.
As a result.
Like most IRC users.
So this is a little different. The problem with the Discord is that it's centrally controlled, meaning that the Discord company or whoever they are, if they shut down or go out of business, then well, that's the end of that. You can't spin up your own Discord server on your own server and do your own thing there. But it is what it is, and as long as it's there and as long as people like it and they want it, now we've got one. So.
I don't install the Discord app on my phone or my laptop because it's so busy that it will literally make you insane.
You could probably turn notifications off, I would guess.
Yeah.
But then I got
to do that to save your sanity. Like if you're a server admin, you definitely want to turn off notifications.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay, while we've been chatting, I've been researching these statistics so we can resolve
the gun thing.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that, because it's hard to research and talk.
So
at the
here's
same
the
time.
situation: is that gun homicides in New Hampshire ranks 7th.
Okay.
For homicides, but that is a little misleading because on average about 2/3 of all gun homicides are suicides, so they're really not.
How is a homicide considered a suicide?
It's a class of homicide.
A suicide is a homicide.
Yes.
Okay.
And so if you subtract all the suicides from the homicide rates, then you get to actual things like murder and manslaughter and so forth. So when you get down to those actual stats, New Hampshire comes in at number 1 at a rate of 1 per 100,000.
Yep.
So New Hampshire is the safest when you're dealing with actual gun violence in that respect.
Of a person against another person.
Like a lot of us believe that suicide is a right. If you have a right to life, you have a right to death.
That's something we need to see happen in New Hampshire.
So 2/3 of those numbers shouldn't even be considered in the homicide.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Thanks, guys.
And thank you, Stefan, for the call tonight. Again, that Discord server, if you want to check it out, it's discord.lrn.fm. There's people in there right now. I mean, that chat is going hot and heavy. And it's been going throughout the shows here tonight, throughout Call to Freedom and Free Talk Live.
Oh, yeah.
And also, another thing that we added this week is our Twitch live stream there over at twitch.lrn.fm in HD. More coming up.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Heart disease is on the rise. Clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol levels may not be fully detected by you, but the symptoms are there. Loss of energy, blood sugar spikes and drops, poor circulation, and irregular heartbeat are just a few of these that can alert you that something is wrong. Hear how Heart and Body Extract is making a difference in thousands of people's lives across America.
My blood pressure has normalized. My diabetes has totally improved.
Everyone is telling me now how much healthier I look, and I'm telling everyone how much healthier I feel. I recommend Heart and Body Extract to everyone.
Anybody over 40 in the North American continent should be using this product as a preventative to keep their cardiovascular system healthy.
Order your 2-month supply today by calling 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. Or order online, hbextract.com. Heart and Body Extract, 866-295-5305 or hbextract.com.
Free Talk Live.
But we have the opportunity. No one has the opportunity.
Look, just hold on. Just because the slaves can pick the head slave doesn't mean that the slaves are free.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Look, if people actually got up and voted for things, there might actually be some change.
People do actually get up and vote for things, and change always results in the same crap.
What are you going to do that's different by voting?
Two choices between crap sandwiches, man.
You're speaking out of both sides of your mouth. On the one hand, you're saying, oh, hardly anybody votes, so you can barely say this is a person of right. And then I say, well, gosh, if people get up and vote, maybe things will change.
Hold on, that was only one thing he brought up.
Here's what I mean.
When people do vote, it doesn't make any difference because of a number of reasons.
People never vote in numbers that could actually reflect what
Why should I vote for any of these thugs? They're killers. They're murderers.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern. Live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to SaveItPurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here, toll free at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Mike, and Will.
Don't forget, you can join us online. Head over to freetalklive.com and enjoy all the features that we have on the website. The webcam is upgraded now to HD. It was something we'd experimented with before, but for whatever reason, we didn't move forward with doing HD. Maybe it was just too taxing on the computer. I forget what the reason was for it. But now we've done it. The Twitch account is in HD. The YouTube account is still in a lower resolution. So if you want to see us in HD in 720p, just go to twitch.lrn.fm or check out the webcam page at freetalklive.com. And you will see that there. We are already up to over 30 followers on Twitch in just 2 days, which is, I consider that to be pretty good. I mean, I'm no expert on what is expected to be good because I don't have a whole lot of experience with Twitch, but I'm pleased with that. And so thank you to everybody who has followed us on that platform, which is cool because you'll get a notice whenever we go live there. Cool. Which YouTube didn't do that from what I could tell. So that's one way that you can kind of be reminded if you're out and about and you want to listen to Free Talk Live. You can, something that's going to pop up on your phone if you've got the Twitch app installed there, and then you can pull it up. You don't have to watch the video. You can actually select an audio-only option through Twitch in their phone app, and so then you don't have to pay for the bandwidth of watching the video, awesome. And you can still listen, as you're going around driving or whatever it is you're doing throughout your day. So check it out at twitch.lrn.fm, and that is the LRN Twitch, so it features both Free Talk Live and Call to Freedom, because now we got a 6-hour-long block of...
On Wednesdays, it's 8. Because you got...
Wait, what's going on Wednesday?
You got Angel Clark before me.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You got 8 solid hours of live radio on Wednesdays.
2 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. But most of the rest of the week, it's going to be a 6-hour-long block of pure freedom-oriented, pro-cryptocurrency, pro-peace content that you just can't get anywhere else.
And at Galactic Systems, we're working on an LRN app for the Grid Phone network, so people in virtual reality will be able to watch and listen to the show.
Cool. I definitely want to know more about that once it's available. Of course, you can bring up anything you want here on Free Talk Live. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We were talking earlier about the gun culture here in New Hampshire, the pro-self-defense, I guess we should say, culture, because it's pretty heavy. Like, if there's ever some kind of statist anti-gun bill that comes up at the State House, there's always a bunch of
of people show up for these.
A bunch of pro-gun rights people show up. They come out of the woodwork and they oppose the anti-gun stuff that
they ain't having it.
No.
But you get another interesting thing is the police will show up in full uniform.
They sure do.
On police time, which they should be doing. And, they even will bill their town for the transportation costs and so forth.
The taxpayers are paying them to come advocate against your rights.
Yeah. And they come down there and they, use the typical, blood in the streets, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's frustrating. They were protesting the proposal to repeal or to make it so that anybody can carry a gun concealed on college campuses. Because right now there's no college in New Hampshire that allows the concealed carry of weapons, and it's up to the individual colleges.
Which under the New Hampshire law actually should not be the case, because under New Hampshire law, the only public property that can ban firearms carrying is courts.
Well, I don't know what the law is on that, but the people in the committee said that there's some sort of rule that says the colleges can make their own decision about that. And so that's what they've been doing, and the colleges have been deciding to prohibit it. So this bill would make it so that that would be overridden, and that every college that accepts government money that is a government college, a state or a school or university, would have to allow for the concealed carry of guns. And I said this bill doesn't go far enough. We need to be allowing open carry on college campuses as well.
Absolutely. But
it's a step in the right direction.
It is. And one of the things that the gun grabbers are going to try to talk about is we have enough problems controlling the students on campuses.
Oh yeah, they're drunk. You can't let them have guns.
Well, geez, the fact is a lot of them have guns, and if you pick them up being drunk, well, that's already a crime. So you can.
Is it a crime to have a gun while drunk, or just a crime to be drunk?
Armed. Well, that's you're brandishing for starters. If you're
if you have it in your hand.
Yeah. So
but is it a crime to actually have a gun on you while inebriated?
It could easily be construed to be.
It's bad form.
Bad form, but it could easily be construed to be causing a public safety hazard or nuisance or something of that. It's basically causing problems. There's a number of different charges.
I'm sure there's got to be some kind of a citation like the one that my cousin got for jumping out of his tree stand. With his rifle in his hand still. Yeah. There's got to be some kind of a civilian
criminal
citation.
Threatening.
Well, he got an unsafe carrying of firearms charge because the forestry guy came up and was like, "Hey, I want to check your stuff," and he stood up and went to jump out of the tree stand, and the forestry guy was like, "Don't jump out of that tree," and he was like, "I cut trees down for a living, don't worry about it," and he hopped right out of the tree with the rifle in his hand,
and they arrested him.
Pulled it for unsafe handling of a firearm. It was
what was he
violation.
supposed to do? Climb down?
He was supposed to climb down, or leave his gun up there.
Oh yeah,
when he jumped.
You should be. You have like a rope that you lower your firearm.
He jumped out of the tree stand with a loaded rifle in his hand.
Yeah, and having it loaded is another.
Yeah. So mishandling a firearm or unsafe. So there's got to be a civilian police officer version of that if the forestry guy can give you a ticket for it.
Well, was it a forestry guy or a game warden?
Florida Wildlife and something another.
Okay, so that was a game warden.
Yeah, game warden.
So game wardens actually, and here in New Hampshire, game wardens are higher in rank in law enforcement than state police.
Yes.
So, yeah. The only person higher than a game warden is the county sheriff.
They don't have to have a search warrant if you're on state land. Or at least
they can search your car. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. TWRA is the same thing.
What about your person?
Yeah. The Tennessee Wildlife and Resource Agency, it's the same
crazy
way. If you're on TWRA land, it's basically like you're on private property.
Seems like a good reason to abolish that bureaucracy right there.
Yeah. And that lets you know that it's not yours.
The land, you mean?
Public land doesn't belong to the public, because if it did, then they wouldn't be able to violate your rights on it as though it were their private property.
Right.
As in, the government owns it privately. not you.
Good point.
They just charge you for the upkeep.
That's right. Whatever they want to charge you, and you'll pay it. Or else.
Or else.
Yeah.
That's a big or else, too.
So our toll-free number here tonight is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. There was another bill, which is actually a proposed constitutional amendment that came up today in New Hampshire. And I thought this was kind of interesting. And I have the text of it here. It's very, very short. The proposal would be, and now in New Hampshire, the way this works is, if you want to amend the Constitution, one of the ways to do it, and maybe there's more than one, but the one that I've always seen, is there's a proposal that a state representative can make in the state reps, and they can say, all right, well, I want this to be put to a vote. And then it gets, if the state reps approve it, so it has to pass sort of like a bill, like a normal bill.
Yeah, it has 2/3 majority.
Does it, I don't know. I think it just gets a majority of the state reps to pass it, but then it has to get a 2/3 vote at the polls to actually pass.
Yes, and I'd have to look at that on the and the thing is, I've written a state constitutional amendment, and as I recall, it needed to be a bit higher than just a simple majority. But we got the bill passed through the legislature on the post-Kelo case where we restricted eminent domain to only government-owned projects.
In New Hampshire?
Yeah.
That's in the Constitution?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I wrote that. And
right
that
on,
was,
dude.
Congratulations. When we were proposing to eminent domain the Supreme Court justices of Breyer and Souter, as basically, Souter was the Republicans' crony.
Because he's got a house up here.
And Stephen Breyer has a home in Plainfield, New Hampshire. And so, we were going to try to eminent domain.
See how they like it.
Yeah. And so, I had the Secret Service show up at my house,
Really?
Oh, yeah. And they're like, Mr. Laurie, what's going on
Did you get video?
I did not get video.
Oh, come on, dude.
And I'm like, I'm laughing. I said, guys, this is just political theater. It's just, that's all this is, And so they started laughing.
What were they going to do about it?
Well, they were working with the Marshal Service, and the Marshals are responsible for the safety of the Supreme Court justices.
Well, you weren't threatening their safety. You were just threatening to take their house from them.
Right. So they just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to
you'd be totally
come
safe.
on their
You just
land,
don't get to live there
or
anymore.
anything like that. And so, they were just, checking me out to see whether I was an actual threat or anything like that.
So this proposed constitutional amendment, the text says that this would be what they would add, Section 2B, the right to privacy. An individual's right to live free from governmental interference in private or personal matters is natural, essential, and inherent. And actually, the original one was an individual's right to live free from governmental interference in private or personal matters is fundamental. These are the proposals. There's been an amendment, so one of those was an amended version. And I'll tell you more about that coming up here. And what this actually means in moments. It's Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, January 10th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.11 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,322 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $61, and the average price of Bitcoin is $13,961. Antiwar.com reports at least a dozen civilians were reported killed in Yemen's Taiz province overnight when Saudi warplanes attacked a line of coal trucks shipping coal out of Hais district, killing a number of drivers within. It's unclear why coal trucks would be targeted in the first place, and Saudi officials gave no indication of why they carried out a strike, though such strikes have been on the rise in Taiz as pro-Saudi forces try to gain territory. Saudi interest in Taiz, however, and the increased airstrikes don't seem to be particularly focused on military targets, but as with the rest of the country, the strikes are heavily focused on civilian infrastructure. Coal is important for electricity generation within Yemen and also for heating in some of the more mountainous northern regions. It is likely the coal was headed north, deeper into rebel territory.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports U.S. Supreme Court justices on Tuesday wrestled with the scope of police authority to search vehicles without warrants, with Chief Justice John Roberts referencing the shiny red convertible taken for a joyride in the 1986 comedy film Ferris Bueller's Day Off to make a serious legal point. The justices heard arguments in 2 cases in which convicted defendants are seeking to have key evidence against them thrown out because it was obtained by police officers through vehicle searches conducted without a court-issued warrant. One case involved a stolen motorcycle that was covered by a tarp and parked on private property. The other involved a rental car driven by a man who was not named on the agreement with the rental agency. At issue is whether police in the 2 cases violated the U.S. Constitution's 4th Amendment, which protects against unreasonable searches and seizures. In the motorcycle case, Roberts and other justices seemed concerned about issuing a broad ruling in favor of law enforcement that would let police officers not just inspect the immediate area outside a property without a warrant, but also potentially inside a house if a vehicle was located in there. Under the 4th Amendment, police need a warrant to search a house unless there is an emergency situation. In the case of convicted defendant Ryan Collins, the motorcycle was a few feet from the house. In Ferris Bueller's Day Off, starring Matthew Broderick, 3 teenagers skip school and take a ride in a red Ferrari that was parked inside a showroom-type space apparently attached to a house. After mentioning the film's car, Roberts asked Trevor Cox, the state of Virginia's lawyer who was defending the police search, whether he was arguing that police can just go into a house without a warrant because a car is mobile and they got it in there somehow so they can get it out. Other justices voiced similar concerns, including Neil Gorsuch, who seemed troubled about police officers being able to search garages and other outbuildings without a warrant. Cox said existing legal precedent allowing police to search vehicles without a warrant when they have probable cause should extend to vehicles kept on private property, potentially including those kept in garages, although he said the court could exclude dwellings. The second case involved a defendant named Terrence Bird, who was stopped by police in 2014 while driving a car his girlfriend had rented. Police said they could search his car without a warrant and without his consent because he was not listed on the rental agreement. The officers found heroin and a bulletproof vest in the car. Justice Stephen Breyer appeared to support a ruling that would prohibit a warrantless search in such a case if the driver has the permission of the person named in the rental agreement to use the vehicle, as long as the driver did not commit a crime in taking possession of the car. Rulings in both cases are due by the end of June.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
With each successive bite failing to relieve his anxieties, increasingly worried man Dylan Hawks told reporters today that he has yet to come across any trace of guacamole in his burrito, despite having specifically requested it when ordering.
No, there definitely wasn't any guac there. Cheese, beans, chorizo. Oh man, I hope they didn't forget.
Hawks has continued to maintain hope that there may still be an undiscovered sliver of avocado somewhere in his tortilla. However, with his fears for the meal mounting, Hawks has reportedly considered asking the cashier for a refund at various points while eating the burrito.
The thing is, if you had a burrito and it was missing cheese, you might not notice it because there's sour cream, but guacamole is completely different. I just don't know how I wouldn't have tasted it by now. Christ. I'm almost done with this thing.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free if you want to join us on the radio. As we launch into the second hour of the program, our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, so feel free to Skype on in here at Skype username LRN.FM. Coming up tonight, Harvey Weinstein apparently was slapped or hit or punched or something, and there's some controversy about that. Will, you'll be telling us more about it coming up here in moments. With you in the studio, by the way, it's Ian,
Mike, and Will.
So I was telling you just a moment ago, for those of you just tuning in, I was at the State House today in Concord, New Hampshire, and there was a proposed constitutional amendment that was being heard, because in New Hampshire, every single proposed law, every bill,
no matter how ludicrous,
has to get a full committee hearing where anyone who wants to from the public can show up and speak. And so that's what was going on today. I was recording. So I got recordings of all these hearings that I've been talking about, the gun freedom hearing and the gun restriction hearing. I was at both of those. And then this one, which is a proposal. And I'm going to read you the original proposal, and then I'll read you the amended version of that. So the original proposal was to add this to the New Hampshire Constitution, quote, Section 2, Article 2B, right to privacy. An individual's right to live free from governmental interference in private or personal matters is fundamental. Now, that's actually a really good statement, and to me, it sounds like it's more than about the right to privacy. Because if I get to live free from governmental interference in my private or personal matters, then I don't want government telling me anything at all about who I can do business with or what I can sell. If I want to sell somebody an ounce of weed,
your personal relationships.
Or whatever, yeah. If I want to sell somebody an ounce of weed, which is prohibited in New Hampshire, that should be my private business and should be none of the government's business. But unfortunately, they oops, there it is again. Sorry about that, guys. I need to mute that thing. Anyway, unfortunately, they had amended this thing, and the amendment actually makes it a little bit worse. The amended version says this, quote, an individual's right to live free from governmental interference in private or personal information is natural, essential, and inherent. So they went from saying that you had a right to live free from governmental interference in your private or personal matters to a right to live free from governmental interference in private or personal information. So that is much more of a right to privacy sounding thing.
Yeah.
I think it's, not as good as it originally was.
Yeah.
So when I testified, I said, well, I was kind of in favor of the original text, but I think it'd actually be better instead of they replaced personal matters with personal information. I said, it'd be better if you just had both of them. So it would be better if it was the individual's right to live free from governmental interference in private or personal matters and information or information, that.
The only thing I would say about the matters version is that it's kind of vague,
Well, I mean, that's the problem with anything like this. And one of the things I told the committee was, look, I like where the intention is coming from on this bill, and I think it would be interesting to just put either one of these forward just to take the temperature of the voters of New Hampshire and see what they say to it. Because ultimately, if this passes the State House, it then goes to the ballot, and it has to get 2/3 of the voters to vote for it in order for it to actually go to become a constitutional amendment. So it would be interesting to just see what the people of New Hampshire have to say on these proposals. But I said, if this goes in front of a judge, it's not going to matter. Because I've had one judge tell me, you can't bring up the Constitution, or I won't allow the Constitution in my courtroom. So it won't matter in the long run, because
welcome to America, land of the free.
Right, every state constitution, almost all of them, have some kind of a statement in there about how government of right is by the consent of the governed.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't have a New Hampshire Constitution in front of me right now, but it has that, and it's crystal clear. It sounds to me like your government is not legitimate if it does not have the consent of the governed. And I don't consent, but they don't care, because they just keep forcing their will on me anyway. So
and that amended version of it sounds to me specifically like it would be something that would be very good to protect people's, for instance, their mobile phones, their smartphones, from being accessed by police without a warrant. Because that's becoming a problem where, if you get pulled over, they will say, give me your phone. And they want your logins, and they want to know how much crypto you have, and they want to know who you're chatting with. And, if you're going to meet somebody to, I don't know, smoke a bowl or something like that, And, like our friend Smokin' Joe, who got busted out in Kansas, he was going to meet a friend to smoke some bud, and just because he had some crypto on his phone, that makes him an international drug dealer. So that kind of a bill here would make it a lot harder for police to search you without a warrant.
In theory.
If
they're following the Constitution, which of course we know they don't do.
But it'll make for some interesting court cases.
Yeah, it would make it so you could challenge something that previously had been unchallengeable in court, and then maybe the courts would rule in your favor. But it gives you an extra argument. It gives you an extra shot. At the very least, it wouldn't hurt to have that language in the Constitution.
And it kind of like pushes back against the creep that's been going in the courts that have been in the favor of the police.
Well, right, and that's one of the things I said, is the courts are almost always going to rule in favor of the state anyway, so I don't expect that even if this passes and gets in the Constitution that it's going to have a whole big, impact or anything like that. But it's a good thing. I think it's a good intention. I think that it's a good thing to have in general.
Making it a state constitutional amendment is a smart way to go about it, because contrary to, like,
instead
for
of
instance,
a state statute or something?
Right, because, if you recall, we did the Fully Informed Jury Act several years ago.
Right.
And that was just a bill.
That got overturned.
It got overturned by the courts because it was just a law, and they said that doesn't meet
they would still say, based on what that court said, the Supreme Court in the case you're referring to, they would still say, even if you amended the Constitution to include jury nullification, which is your right as a juror to vote your conscience in a case, not the facts. You can just choose how you feel about the law, and so you can vote not guilty to set somebody free, even if they've been caught red-handed with a pound of marijuana. If you think it should be legal, you can just vote not guilty. They would still say, and this is based on their actual decision that they wrote in this case, they would rule that unconstitutional.
You can't rule the Constitution unconstitutional.
They would.
That's
what they said they would do, and I forget what their rationale was for it. You'd have to read the Rich Paul case, because that's where I think that's the one where they addressed that question.
Okay.
So anyway, I just wanted to share that because I thought it was an interesting proposal, this constitutional privacy amendment. And that's the kind of thing that you see happening in New Hampshire. The guy that proposed this, he's a privacy nut. His name is Neil Kirk, and every privacy bill that comes up, this guy's the spearhead on all of this.
He gets a lot of good bills in there.
Yeah, he really does.
He doesn't get a lot passed.
He gets a little crazy. Like, he goes overboard with it sometimes, like, to the point where he wants to restrict. Like, I guess I can't really give you a good example off the top of my head, but, like, he doesn't even like it when, a private company's got cameras up, that kind of thing. So sometimes
he tried to prohibit private drones from having cameras.
That was what it was.
Yeah.
It was the drone bill. That was one of the few bills I disagreed with that guy on, because normally he's like Johnny on the spot when it comes to privacy.
Yeah.
But to restrict businesses and private people from being able to use a drone to take pictures, that was when he went way overboard with just too much of a privacy nut kind of thing. But
I don't mind.
I appreciate that he's there.
Right. I don't mind having companies having the drones out there, but if they overfly my property, I want the right to shoot it down.
That doesn't seem like a safe thing to do, man. Shooting in the air. I don't know
with a shotgun, the shotgun shot only goes like maybe a few hundred yards.
Is that right?
Oh,
it's just come right back down.
Yeah, and when it comes down, it's very soft. It's just
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
no big deal.
It's not really that dangerous.
Okay, good to know. Thanks for the info on that. I wasn't aware of that. So if you want to join us here, you can, whether it's about the right to privacy, whether it's about the right to bear arms. I mean, these are the fundamental rights we've been talking about here tonight on Free Talk Live. You can join us toll-free at 855-450-FREE like freedom. What about the right to hit somebody who's a jerk? And that's what you're going to tell us about here, Will.
Yeah.
And this is the question. I'm not saying you have that right. But somebody, in this case, Harvey Weinstein, who everybody probably heard the news stories in the fall of 2017 about this guy. He's a movie producer behind the Miramax Studios.
And there's more stories keep coming out every day, it seems like.
About that guy?
Yeah.
The best part is, like, the people that lead these, like, feminist protests and all that stuff, it's come out that, like, most of them were either victims or involved in some way and basically kept quiet for decades.
Of him?
Yeah, and kept quiet for decades and allowed him to continue to victimize other people.
Because he was donating to all the right causes.
Exactly.
All right, we're going to come back with more here in moments. Apparently somebody hit this dude.
Yeah,
and
slapped him.
You've got a question you want to ask our audience about it, Will. We're going to get into that here. 855-450-FREE if you want to join us on the radio for Free Talk Live.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency but feel overwhelmed by the high price of Bitcoin? Or maybe you've used Bitcoin in the past, but were turned off by the high transaction fees and slow transfer times. It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital international money that you can send anywhere, anytime for less than a nickel. With Dash, your transactions can be instant and private. Dash offers a fully incentivized and decentralized peer-to-peer network where miners are rewarded for keeping the network fast, strong, and safe for its users. Start your journey at Dash.org. Since its launch in 2014, Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world and is showing no signs of stopping. Check out Dash.org for more information about Dash. And get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on-demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long-distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. Dial toll free here. Bring up anything that you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. The Skype username is LRN.FM. And cryptocurrencies are pretty hot right now, and you can expect they're going to continue to be hot on into the future. But how do you pick a winner? How do you decide what's going to rise to the top? Well, I have no idea. There's no way, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you can do some research. You can say, oh, this sounds like a really cool technology. Ooh, this looks like a really good team. Oh, this seems like it's really hot right now. But nobody really knows what's going to end up happening in the future. Although I would say that one thing seems pretty certain, and that is that cryptocurrencies are here to stay, and that they're likely going to increase in value over time, overall. Now, some of them are going to go up, some of them are going to go down, some of them are going to fail.
Technological genie out of the bottle. There's absolutely
they can't put
no
it back
way.
in. Yeah, you can't put it back in.
It was specifically designed to be impossible to eliminate and eradicate.
Thanks to Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever that person or persons is, for founding Bitcoin back in 2009. 9 years ago, by the way, as of earlier this month. But Bitcoin, of course, was open source, which means that anybody who wanted to could go in, copy the code, make some tweaks, and then release their own cryptocurrency. Yep. And that's happened more than 1,000 times at this point. There's a huge marketplace of options out there. So again, it's overwhelming. Where do you start? How do you figure out what to buy? Well, like I said, I'm not a financial expert. I'm not an investment person. I don't know. But I do know that when I saw that Zencash, when I was, looking at it and auditing it and saying, is this something that we want to tell our listeners about? Because not everybody that just comes and knocks on our door and says, hey, we've got a bunch of money, can you promote our thing, is going to get let in.
Yeah.
If it's a junk product, we don't want it on the air. And so when Zencash came to me, I checked it out. I pulled up the white paper, which I normally, don't do. I've never read through a full white paper before, but I actually looked through this one, and I saw them talking about voluntarism. And that, to me, was very, very reassuring, very attractive, in addition to all the cool technology that they've put into this, like the zero-knowledge anonymity, which is one of the best anonymity systems out there. It was created in the Zcash cryptocurrency, and it's been copied into a few other ones, and Zencash is one of those. They also are introducing a decentralized autonomous organization to help with the governance structure of how to run this thing, and that's worked very, very well for Dash. So they've put some of the good tech into this that you can get in other currencies, but they've rolled it all together with a philosophy of voluntarism, and I love that. So you really ought to check them out over at Zencash.com. I'm not telling you they're going to be, blowing the doors off of anything. I'm not saying they're going to be number one. What do you mean?
Well, when I first bought into Zencash, it was back in early December, and they were trading at about $34 a coin.
Mm-hmm.
And today they are at $61.91.
Not bad.
It's been a pretty...
But a lot of cryptos have gone up over time.
Yeah, but not mooning. This isn't like mooning and crashing and mooning and crashing.
You're saying
this
has
been a sustained couple dollars here, a couple dollars there, a couple dollars here over the course of a month. It's slowly creeped up instead of this like Verge, where it goes from 4 cents to 29 cents,
and then
and then drops down to 7 cents, and at least it's jumped a little bit, but it's not these crazy up and downs, whereas Zencash has been just kind of a steady trajectory in the right direction.
And hopefully it'll continue, but obviously we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So go learn more about it. You really ought to do your own research. Zencash.com. You can check it out there, and it is in the Koinomi app, by the way.
It is.
Zencash.com. As we continue here, we're just getting into this Harvey Weinstein, this guy who made all kinds of headlines in the last few months because nobody should have been surprised about this. This is the old story in Hollywood, right? That these perverted old Hollywood dudes...
The casting couch.
Right. That they use their position of power and influence to get young people, both female and male to take their clothes off and possibly have sexual relations with them.
Sleeping your way into that big movie role is like a Hollywood.
It's the old story.
Yeah,
it's the way it's been
trope.
done.
And not just your anonymous starlet coming to Hollywood. I mean, there were some what you would call Hollywood royalty.
Were they royalty at the time?
Like Bette Midler.
Oh yes, for like Mia Farrow's daughter was molested by Weinstein.
Right.
Okay, and a lot like
allegedly.
Bette Midler.
Has it been proven?
Bette Midler in the 80s.
Her brother actually was the one who exposed Weinstein. He interviewed like 200 people over a year and came out with the investigative report on Weinstein and took him down. And so he was the one that started all this.
Now, when you say took him down, he ended up resigning from or getting kicked off of the company that he was on? Was it Dimension Films?
Yeah, he was removed from the board. He lost his job.
It used to be Miramax, and then it went to Dimension. I think.
And so his board got rid of him.
Got rid of him from the company he started.
Not been prosecuted yet for any of this.
Is it because it's all too old, or is he just that influential to where the prosecutor in Hollywood's doesn't want to touch him?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm sure a lot of it is beyond the statute of limitations, but I think there's some states that have in recent years extended their statute of limitations because of these particularly what happened with the Catholic Church a few years ago.
I'd be surprised if that dude didn't hightail it out of the United States. If he's still
Go
around,
hang out with Roman Polanski.
Well,
Polanski's getting a buy now. He's coming back.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, he's coming back to the U.S. and prosecutors have said they're not going to prosecute him for what he did back in the 70s and with a minor
teenage girl, right?
Yeah, and so the Hollywood is more than happy to have Roman Polanski back in their midst. He's a hero to many of them, and so it's very much a selective outrage.
Oh yeah, it's always a selective outrage. It's only wrong if somebody from the other club or the other team does.
Yeah, it was very interesting to see Weinstein get nailed because he was such a big.
Well, he's a
Democrat.
lefty, right?
Yeah.
Well, who's Jeff Wood, I think is his name. He's a big comedian in the roasting scene now. Like they rebirthed the Friars Club roast, and he could go on national television and be the most racist piece of garbage to a black man to his face.
And that's funny, huh?
It's humorous. It's funny.
Oh, I've watched some of those roasts. They get really raunchy, and not just against blacks, but women.
To the point that
but everybody gets it.
Well, to the point that even black stand-up comedians are like, I was ashamed to watch them roast Flava Flav because they were so racist to him. But
wow.
If you say something even minutely close to that as like a DJ on a sports talk radio, you'll be nationally shamed.
I see what you're saying.
And they'll roast you over an open fire. But
people
if you're the right person in
roasts
Hollywood
to be offensive in that way.
That's why I don't like them.
But
I think they're mean-spirited.
Oh yeah.
Please, if you can't say something nice, don't say it at all.
And all the people that go on it, you really can't feel sorry for you. They can't claim to be victimized because they're all there willingly.
Yeah, they knew what they were going to get.
Could you imagine a Harvey Weinstein roast now?
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, that would be pretty bad. Well, anyway,
so what happened to this guy?
Well, it says here, according to Raw Story, and they're reporting from TMZ that basically he's been on the lam since all this stuff came out.
In rehab.
And he
claimed
showed his face in Arizona, and some drunk guy came over and slapped the taste out of his mouth.
He was with his sober coach in a restaurant.
Wait, so it's not sexual abuse rehab? It's alcohol?
Yeah.
Rehab?
He's claiming it was his alcoholism that led him to this sort of
let's talk more about it coming up here in moments. You can share your thoughts as well. 855-450, free like freedom. Free Talk Live.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves by bringing up whatever's on your mind. Our number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can join us online. There's a bunch of features on our website, and we just added a couple of new ones this week that I'm pretty excited about. We've already mentioned them. The Discord chat room server thing, that's hot and heavy right now. There's more than a dozen people in there talking about all kinds of stuff in multiple different channels. And I think that has actually siphoned off some of the Twitch chat because the Twitch, even though we've got twice as many Twitch viewers tonight than we did last night. And last night we had already exceeded the amount of YouTube viewers we'd had in the past.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's people doing both because I see that a lot with
doing both. What?
Both Discord and the Twitch.
Yeah.
So you chat in both
because we don't have an audio feed in Discord yet. That may be something we'll be able to add down the line a little ways because they have bots apparently that you can bring in there. So yeah, if you want to listen and watch, then the Twitch is the way to do that right now. And there's more than twice as many people at the last time I looked. So I'm really happy with how this is working out. And you know what? All this happened after I quit Facebook. So, like, all of a sudden, more productivity now that I don't have Facebook. Coincidence? I don't think so. So, hey, by the way, you want to protect your home, you want to protect your small office, check out the Blink Home Security System. You can get yours very affordably, like surprisingly affordable. And it works well, considering how affordable it is. You go to blinkprotect.com/FTL. You'll get 3 Blink cams for what some of the other guys will charge you for 1 security camera. It's super easy to set up because the cams are wireless. So all you got to do is pop the batteries in after you unbox it. You plug 1 wire in, that's the one that goes to the hub, and then you hook it all up with your Wi-Fi enabled device, your smartphone or your tablet, and then you set, when you want the cameras to be active, how long you want the clips to be. If they detect movement, they'll send you a clip to your smartphone, how long those should be. So you get it set up and you're ready to roll within moments. Blinkprotect.com/FTL. Let's go to the phones, to the fun. We'll talk more about Weinstein. Apparently he was attacked recently, claiming he's in rehab. Let's go to Vernon first, though, listening in New Orleans. You're on Free Talk Live with Ian, Mike, and Will.
Good evening.
Hi, Vernon.
Good evening, brother Ian. Just kidding. Do you all know of any cryptocurrency that allows the merchant to pay the fees like a credit card company would? So, like, if I go to Walmart, I'm not paying the fee for the credit card when I use it. Walmart's doing it. So I was just curious if you all knew of any cryptocurrencies that were set up that way.
That's an interesting question. I've never heard of such a thing. And guys, feel free to jump in if you know of one, but just to explain for our listeners, one of the fundamental differences between cryptocurrency and a credit card, besides the fact that the cryptocurrency is decentralized and can't be stopped by the government and all the other things we have covered about it, is that the customer pays the fee on top of the total sale. And that's just one of the ways that it's just always been different. I've never seen a cryptocurrency advertising that, oh, well, we'll let the merchant pay the fee out of the total.
I think it's really in how you would do the transaction.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm like, all right, this is $20 if this is $20 in Dash, and you click it and you send me $20 in Dash, and the fee is taken out of the transaction, and I don't tack that back onto the price, technically I'm paying it because it's...
Well, no. The fee's always on top of. So if you send $20 in Dash, it's going to be $20.01 worth of Dash that you end up sending to the merchant. Well, they can't opt out of that at all.
That's the transaction fee, though.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
If the merchant, if the transaction fee is the transaction fee is built into the price, then you end up allowing the merchant to pay.
I think a lot of businesses just have it as a cost of doing business. Like, if I were to sign up as an amplifier, I'm not going to be charged with a credit card. I'm not going to be charged. If I do $5 a month, it's not going to be like $5.37, right? I mean, it's going to be $5, and Ian probably just eats the cost.
The only way you could do what you're talking about, Will, would be to charge the person $19.98, and then you're expecting maybe a 2-cent fee to be added into that.
Right.
So
that's what I'm saying. Work it into the price, so that you're taking the hit instead of your consumer.
But it's so minute. It doesn't. Well, like with Dash, it's minute. It doesn't matter. 2 cents doesn't matter one way or the other. In that case, it's not even worth your time to have the cashier try to figure out. All right, let me. Instead of ringing this up at $20, let me ring it up at $19.98, and then you can send. It just seems like too much effort for no real point.
I would say that what he's getting at is something. If it works more like a credit card, where the merchant pays the fees, I would say that something like my Shift card that I have connected to my Coinbase account works that way, so that all I see coming out of my Coinbase account is the Bitcoin, the equivalent to the price, and so the merchant has to deal with the fee on the other side, and some of that actually comes as cash back to me in Bitcoin on Coinbase. So
Shift is giving cash back now?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. But in that case, what you're talking about is the merchant's receiving dollars there. So the merchant, that's still not really what we're talking about. We're talking about paying somebody with cryptocurrency and having, the question is about, is there one where it's built into the cryptocurrency somehow to where the merchant is
I would say it'd have to be built into the service, like, if BitPay did something like that, or there's Circle Pay, is this, Circle Plus. There's
Arcadia.
Arcadia, exactly. They would have to build that into how the point of sale system works.
Yeah. I would bet, since Arcadia works with credit cards and that is already built into that system that way, I would be pretty certain that it would probably work the same way with Arcadia's cryptocurrency system, where you would have to.
But it'd be the option of the merchant. The merchant would have to say, "I want to do this." And I think it's a great idea for merchants to give a discount for paying with cryptocurrency. But I think it should be a deeper discount than, the 2-cent fee that, you're going to get off. If you want to give somebody a discount, make it 5%.
If it's Bitcoin's fee that you're paying, that's a huge discount.
Nobody's using Bitcoin at retail. It's just not happening.
Oh, yeah. The number of merchants have dropped off significantly.
If the merchant will pay the fee,
they're not going to do
it.
No merchant is insane enough to do that, and no customer is crazy enough to want to pay the fee on top. Bitcoin's dead for retail. Rest in peace.
I might be that crazy because I have a long-term view of Bitcoin. So I would actually give a big discount of like 10 or maybe 15% discount to take a payment in Bitcoin.
But if you're running Corner News where your average ticket is $5, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because you just said, Will, the median fee to send a Bitcoin transaction today is $18.
Yeah, that is prohibitive. And
you can't at $18 if you're spending more than you'd have to spend more than $500 to make that even
And I think that one of the things that's going on with this is that we're seeing, because of this, or maybe that is the strategy that's going on, is that the purpose of driving these transaction fees up is that if it
that's
forces,
a strategy.
Well, let me finish.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Is that it forces people to use sites like Coinbase and other similar wallet sites.
The centralization, where they control your keys.
And so you're relying on the transactions on their hot wallet to avoid the transaction fees.
Could be. It could be. I mean, it seems to me that it's less of a strategy than it is just incompetence and an F-up. Yeah. I mean, because they just haven't done what they need to do to scale Bitcoin, and all they got to do is increase the block size, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it is, but that sort of a thing, they think, I would say if I was them, I would think that it would drive more people into using those sort of services rather than having their own wallets on their own computers.
Which is a bad thing. And if that's their plan, those people are evil. Vernon, go ahead. Any other thoughts you want to share?
Just to change gears real quick,
sure.
I think that the quality of Free Talk Live is brought down by your chronic callers, what's his face from the Commonwealth and Sarah. And I've said this before, but please limit their calls to maybe once a week. And I mean, Foghorn Leghorn is cool and all, but I mean, this isn't a Wacky Steve in the morning show. I appreciate the quality and the good discussion of Free Talk Live, and to bring antics like that on just kind of degrades it, in my opinion. Thank you all.
Well, I appreciate that. Some people like those callers, some people hate them, and that's just kind of the way it goes.
I love Brother Ricky.
Yeah, see, you can't make everybody happy.
Ricky is so popular that they talk about him while I'm on the air in the chat rooms.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing flattering, but still, they're like, when's a Foghorn Leghorn guy going to come on? That's not my show, guy.
There was a guy in the chat room last night when we set it up on the Discord at discord.lrn.fm who, when he heard Ricky, he said something, or no, maybe he was in Twitch. Anyway, a new listener. He was like, that last caller sounded like that Looney Tunes chicken, is what he typed in. And we didn't even play any of the Foghorn Leghorn clips, so people just think that about him. Toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE like freedom. The best way to keep people like Ricky and Sarah off the lines are to call the show and to get on the air.
Oh, yeah, keep us busy with real good calls.
Because we go to you first if they're on hold. Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Core and your Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com. I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Welcome to the program. You can take control of the airwaves here by dialing in toll-free at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We're going to get further into this question of Harvey Weinstein in moments. Apparently, he's been physically attacked. And, Will, you've got a question you want to ask our listeners about that. We're going to get into that. But, of course, you can bring up whatever's on your mind. And don't forget, you can get interactive over at freetalklive.com. We've been talking about some of the cool new features we've got, like the new Discord at discord.lrn.fm with the Free Talk Live channel there. That's hopping right now. There's also the Twitch that we're on. We're doing live streaming on Twitch. And also, somewhat new, is the Free Talk Live forum, which you can go to forum.freetalklive.com and you can interact on a more kind of somewhat slower basis. I mean, the forum's actually pretty snappy and fast for forums, but, still, you're posting to threads rather than in a chat room with somebody. So check out some of the different conversations that are happening over there. In fact, it was the Free Talk Live forum is where we had the suggestion to get on Twitch in the first place. So it was, all these things have sort of come together within the last week or so, and the forum's been around for like the last 6 months. So check it out over at forum.freetalklive.com. With you in the studio here, it's Ian,
Mike, and Will.
So, Will, you were just getting into telling us what happened with this Harvey Weinstein, this Hollywood producer, big shot producer guy for decades.
A perv of pervs.
He has been outed as
the guy on the couch,
as somebody who is actually apparently he was like in hotel rooms. I read some of the stories about what he'd allegedly done, and he would invite these Hollywood girls into his hotel room and ask them to give him a massage, and then like pull out his junk.
And his favorite strategy was they would come in and he'd be in the shower
naked
with the door open and
just come on out. Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, hello
surprise.
there.
Hi, I didn't realize that you were there.
Now that you're here and I'm
Happy
here.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
And then he did some, and the way he would approach it was like desperate and pathetic, like begging, and like I forget who it was that said this, but somebody made the comment of, oh gosh, I always thought these Hollywood producers, were able to actually get women because of their power.
Deal, yeah.
Right, so just because of their power and their influence, but really this guy was just begging like a
pathetic.
Sad, pathetic loser. And so, apparently it worked on some of these women.
What do you expect?
And so now they came out and they, outed him about this. Somebody attacked him.
Yeah, well, he's been kind of on the lam for the last little while and not really showing his face publicly. And he finally decided to go eat at a dining establishment called Elements in Scottsdale, Arizona. And he was approached.
Sounds expensive.
Well, he was approached by a man identified only so far as Steve.
And he was apparently tipsy.
Yeah, Steve
was tipsy?
Steve was a little tipsy.
Okay.
Two men sat and talked at Weinstein's table for a little while. But as Weinstein got up to leave the restaurant, Steve followed him, slapped him twice in the face while repeatedly calling him a POS.
Wow.
And apparently, according to another news report, this fellow had actually asked him for a selfie. And Weinstein, who was dining with his, quote, sober coach, because apparently when,
he's in rehab.
Just as with the right-wingers, when they do something wrong, they become born again. On the left, when they do misbehave, they go into rehab. And they blame it on the booze or the drugs. And so he's apparently in some kind of rehab, and so he's at this restaurant with his sober coach, and he's asked for a selfie, just like, any celebrity gets asked for a autograph or something like that, or a selfie in the modern age. And he said, no, this is really not a good time for this, and so he was trying to turn the guy down. And so then
I want an autograph from the king of perverts. Give me your autograph, Mr. Weinstein.
And he didn't get it.
I'm still going to get
so
sued
the
before
guy
the end of this episode
slapped him, and as he was trying to walk away
twice.
So,
slapped him twice.
And I'm sure the guy's getting high fives all over the place now,
right. And that's kind of my question, and part of why I wanted to bring this up is it's kind of like the is it okay to punch a Nazi question. Is it okay, like Harvey Weinstein, it's basically known now that he committed sexual assault spanning decades, and won't ever actually be brought to justice or charged for this heinous thing that he's done. Is it morally okay? Is it ethical to slap the stupid out of him?
No, I don't think it is.
In the street,
well, if the justice system fails or refuses to deliver justice, you got to wonder, what's the point? But at the same time, victims have the point of having a statute of limitations is that victims should have some time period where just like the general common law principle of estoppel, that you have so much time after some rights are violated to assert your rights, and after that period, then they lapse, and you're assumed to have not taken offense at the violation.
To giving them up, exactly.
And unfortunately, a lot of women over the years have just been felt so intimidated. And that not just by the individual, but by, quote, the patriarchy or the system or whatever they want to describe it as.
Well, yeah, it's probably not fun to come out publicly with with a statement like that. And ultimately, this guy did hold some strings, right? Like he got to decide whether or not he had
lots of power.
Lots of power.
Right. He got to decide whether or not somebody gets a job, and so there's that aspect. Plus, there's the he said, she said aspect. So unless if there wasn't this avalanche of people,
some of these events that were supposed to have taken place with like 2 or 3
with
women
witnesses.
My favorite story from this whole thing is that the actor Nathan Lane, who's a Broadway actor, not a Hollywood actor, once emceed a party for Harvey Weinstein, and he said some joke that Harvey got torqued off at, and Harvey slammed him up against the wall and threatened him.
You're never going to work in this town again.
And Nathan Lane said to him, you can't hurt me. I don't have a movie career.
He was in that one movie, The Birdcage, with Robin Williams, I think.
He's in a lot of movies, actually, and he's very, very good. He's in The Producers.
Well, at least his attitude was that he didn't care.
Yeah, I don't care. You can't do anything to me.
But
that sounds like Nathan. I can just hear him in his Birdcage voice saying that.
Well, one of the reasons why the avalanche comes out, right, whether it's Bill Cosby or it's this Harvey Weinstein guy, once one person comes out, other people feel safe in coming out with their story. If that hasn't happened, then you're the first person to do it, right? You're the one coming out against this high-powered producer who can hire all kinds of attorneys, to go up against you, and then he said, she said.
I think it's harder to be the second person than it is the first, because the first person, it's still he said, she said.
Yeah.
It's not until the second story that people start to go, oh, wait a second. Other people are accusing him of it now. Like, it's not the first story usually that does it, because lots of people get accused of lots of things.
Have to give credit to the children of Mia Farrow. Apparently, her daughter had been one of the victims of Harvey Weinstein, one of these Hollywood royalty. So it wasn't just like your anonymous starlet coming to Hollywood trying to make it. And she had tried to report it, and nobody had believed her, because he was so influential and so forth, but her brother did, and her brother he's a investigative reporter for a magazine in New York, and he believed her, and he started interviewing people. He interviewed 200 people over one year, and did a major investigative expose, and really, that was such a large body of work that he did that not even the most hardcore liberal Hollywood insider could deny it any longer. And that was really what tipped things on Harvey Weinstein.
Because when it's a handful of people, you could still claim it's a conspiracy. If it's getting into the 20s, 30s, if there's dozens of alleged victims, and it gets really hard to say this is all a big plot against me,
Right. One girl, 2 girls could be out for a quick payoff.
They could be.
25 girls? Come on, man.
Something's going on. Yeah.
There's a lot of girls in Hollywood out for a quick payoff, though.
Now, what's your answer to your own question?
To me?
Yeah, about the.
To me,
is it wrong?
I don't believe it is. But
you don't believe it's morally wrong to slap somebody?
No, I don't believe that it's morally correct to just walk up and hit somebody. Like, I'm not his victim.
Right.
And he's not currently victimizing anybody. So
would it be okay for the victim to do it?
See, that's where. I mean, if you victimize,
if the justice system refuses,
and you're a true victim, like. Am I going to do it? Yeah. If you sexually assaulted,
if it's your daughter, who's the victim?
Yeah. If it's my daughter,
are you going to do something?
If it's my daughter, you better hope the cops get to you before I do.
The toll-free number here tonight is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In the Discord room, Singularity says that a jury wouldn't convict the dude, the guy that slapped Weinstein, even if he was charged.
Yeah, I don't think they would.
Even if they did, they would do like $1 fine and then shake his hand afterwards.
There's more coming up in moments. They'd pay his fine for him.
Yeah.
More on the way here. You can take control of the airwaves. Hour 3 on the way. This is Free Talk Live.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-959-5759. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, Do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-959-5759. That's 1-800-959-5759. 1-800-959-5759.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, January 10th, 2018. Silver's trading at $17.11 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,322 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $61, and the average price of Bitcoin is $13,961. Antiwar.com reports at least a dozen civilians were reported killed in Yemen's Taiz province overnight when Saudi warplanes attacked a line of coal trucks shipping coal out of Hais district, killing a number of drivers within. It's unclear why coal trucks would be targeted in the first place, and Saudi officials gave no indication of why they carried out a strike, though such strikes have been on the rise in Taiz as pro-Saudi forces try to gain territory. Saudi interest in Taiz, however, and the increased airstrikes don't seem to be particularly focused on military targets, but as with the rest of the country, the strikes are heavily focused on civilian infrastructure. Coal is important for electricity generation within Yemen and also for heating in some of the more mountainous northern regions. It is likely the coal was headed north, deeper into rebel territory.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports U.S. Supreme Court justices on Tuesday wrestled with the scope of police authority to search vehicles without warrants, with Chief Justice John Roberts referencing the shiny red convertible taken for a joyride in the 1986 comedy film Ferris Bueller's Day Off to make a serious legal point. The justices heard arguments in 2 cases in which convicted defendants are seeking to have key evidence against them thrown out because it was obtained by police officers through vehicle searches conducted without a court-issued warrant. One case involved a stolen motorcycle that was covered by a tarp and parked on private property. The other involved a rental car driven by a man who was not named on the agreement with the rental agency. At issue is whether police in the 2 cases violated the U.S. Constitution's 4th Amendment, which protects against unreasonable searches and seizures. In the motorcycle case, Roberts and other justices seemed concerned about issuing a broad ruling in favor of law enforcement that would let police officers not just inspect the immediate area outside a property without a warrant, but also potentially inside a house if a vehicle was located in there. Under the 4th Amendment, police need a warrant to search a house unless there is an emergency situation. In the case of convicted defendant Ryan Collins, the motorcycle was a few feet from the house. In Ferris Bueller's Day Off, starring Matthew Broderick, 3 teenagers skip school and take a ride in a red Ferrari that was parked inside a showroom-type space apparently attached to a house. After mentioning the film's car, Roberts asked Trevor Cox, the state of Virginia's lawyer who was defending the police search, whether he was arguing that police can just go into a house without a warrant because a car is mobile and they got it in there somehow so they can get it out. Other justices voiced similar concerns, including Neil Gorsuch, who seemed troubled about police officers being able to search garages and other outbuildings without a warrant. Cox said existing legal precedent allowing police to search vehicles without a warrant when they have probable cause should extend to vehicles kept on private property, potentially including those kept in garages, although he said the court could exclude dwellings. The second case involved a defendant named Terrence Bird, who was stopped by police in 2014 while driving a car his girlfriend had rented. Police said they could search his car without a warrant and without his consent because he was not listed on the rental agreement. The officers found heroin and a bulletproof vest in the car. Justice Stephen Breyer appeared to support a ruling that would prohibit a warrantless search in such a case if the driver has the permission of the person named in the rental agreement to use the vehicle, as long as the driver did not commit a crime in taking possession of the car. Rulings in both cases are due by the end of June.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
After logging onto the Xbox One game console at one of his classmates' homes, 12-year-old Michael Cutler admitted to reporters this week that he really does not have the slightest clue about what his friend's name could be.
I mean, his name might be Brian. No, wait, Brian's my other friend, the one with the PS4. Yeah, if I'm being totally honest, there's no way I can tell you his name. Not a chance.
Noting that the boy had, quote, an absolutely huge HD TV and a bunch of games his mom won't let him play, Cutler confirmed that he could recall only the faintest details about his friend, including the fact that his mother makes chocolate chip cookies and that he has a dog of some kind.
He's got Killer Instinct, Assassin's Creed, Battlefield 4, and Titanfall? Man, that game's awesome. Anyway, I've just been calling him Flamethrower because that's his gamer tag. Hopefully he doesn't catch on. Hey, can I stick around for a few more hours? I'm so close to beating this.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. It is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the program. You can join us here if you want. You can take control of the airwaves. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up, Mike is going to be telling us about drones, police drones taking to the skies in maybe a city near you. We'll find out where that's happening, and we'll get into that coming up here in moments. With you in the studio tonight, by the way, it is Ian,
Mike, and Will.
To the phones, to the fun, your calls and thoughts. We're starting with Patrick. He's a cop in Bullhead City, Arizona. Patrick, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, you guys were talking about hitting, people hitting people. I got a story for you. This will crack you guys up.
Okay, sure.
We got a call about a disturbance in an area that we knew that there was a guy that was a big, huge, he was like a bodybuilder, large guy, about in the 200s and everything. So we're thinking it's a complaint about him. We pulled up. We got the one guy over in the one corner, the big guy, and he got this small little, like 5'5" younger guy over in the corner. We're immediately go over to the younger guy and say, "Are you okay?" and everything. He goes, "No."
I'm doing just fine.
Turns out he was the scrapper,
This guy, I guess he always the big guy always has a big mouth. He's known. He's been called a couple times and everything. This guy didn't want to take it anymore, so he cold clocked this guy.
Wow.
And you look at we go over to the big guy, and he's got a big old mouse under his eye.
Ooh.
So he wants to press charges. He's saying, this guy here is dangerous and everything. And we're looking at this in just total amazement. I mean, this guy benches just massive amounts he just works out all the time. Well, he insists we file charges against this other guy.
Wow.
So it goes to where we take the reports and everything. So we get called into court. Well, it was hilarious because we get this one judge that is stonewall face, and we're standing there. We're having to. This judge sees that, and it's the first time I've ever seen a judge literally have to put his head down because he was laughing so hard.
He was laughing at this big dude being a big baby because
I'm offended by that because there's a huge problem in domestic violence with women committing violence against their male partners.
That is
and
so true.
It's so heavily underreported.
Yes, it
and
is.
even when it is reported, police
they don't believe it.
They don't believe it.
Yeah.
They mock it, and particularly going to the courts, juries and judges don't believe it either.
I know what you're saying, but this guy was well known for having a big mouth. He was
asking for it, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
He was asking for it.
I've seen people literally say, "Hit me, hit me." Okay.
That we're going to file charges against this guy. This guy here is an endangerment to the neighborhood, and my partner and I are just looking at each other and going, "Is this for real? Do we really have to file a report on this?" Because we sat down with both of them and we tried to calm both parties down and try to get it where. They walked away from it. Nah, that wasn't going to work. But it was probably the most weirdest thing I've ever seen to go into it. And eventually that guy ended up getting himself in a lot of trouble, and the big guy, he ended up moving out of state. But I'll never forget that. You were talking about people hitting each other. This guy was totally mouthing off on this other guy, and then we found out later he was making threats to him and his family, and you were saying
asking
about
for it
deserving. Exactly.
There's in law there's a thing called fighting words. Is so that if you're mouthing off to somebody and using what they call fighting words,
I'm gonna whatever.
Yeah. And then if someone assaults you in response to those fighting words, you are the one you're asking for it.
That's a great point. Good story tonight, Patrick. Anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you I apologize for not calling during the holiday season. I got hit. I was off duty and got hit in my vehicle, and I'm okay and everything. But the person, again, I guess it pays to be in law enforcement because, unfortunately, this guy didn't have insurance. He didn't have registration. He was from out of state. It was questionable, but it's funny because they had to issue him a ticket, but we let him go because he had his family with him. Mm-hmm. Now, guess what? They can't find him anywhere.
Surprise! Well, glad you're all right. Patrick, thanks for calling with the story tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Let's talk to Robert. He's in Vermont on the line here on Free Talk Live. Robert, you're on here.
Thanks for taking the call.
Thanks, dude. Go ahead.
Hey, you guys were talking about infamous Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you, did you guys happen to catch the video of that?
Which video?
The video.
The one
of the assault.
Did that get video?
It's right
it's on
here.
video?
I've got it right here, yeah.
If you go... Yeah, somebody recorded that. Boy, that guy, he gave him a good slapping.
Wow.
I have the video. I'll send it to you, Ian, if you want it.
I don't know. I mean, if it's super entertaining, I mean, we might take a look at it. But I mean,
it's a guy who
the video appears to be maybe a minute or so long, and he's being, catcalled, and there's a couple, 2 or 3 people that are involved in it.
So is the dude who did the slapping also the cameraman, or is there somebody else?
There's a second person that's the cameraman.
I see.
It's like 2 guys were talking to him. And then one of them decided that they didn't like what was said or something didn't go their way. And then he, a little drunk, a little pissed, he decided
it's up
that he
on
was gonna,
TMZ.
Yeah, it's on. I've got it right here. I've got the video on the story that I was reading to you guys from Raw Story.
Well, what are your comments on the whole situation? And what's your answer to Will's question earlier? Which, can you reiterate the question, Will?
Well, if the justice system in society is broken down and you have a perpetual victimizer here, who will never see justice for his actions. Is it morally okay to try to inflict that justice yourself, to just walk up and hit him in the street? Basically for the rest of his life, should he expect to be randomly assaulted by people and it be okay?
I think that he should be randomly assaulted by every victim that he created.
By the victim.
The victims.
Oh, yeah. All right.
By the victim, exactly. And then also by the, by the people that, the lives that he changed. Who knows how long he's been behaving like this?
Decades, they say.
This is just what people saw in that video is just a taste of what this guy's gonna feel like when he ends up getting to the big house.
Now, Hannah Hoffman in the Discord chat room makes an excellent point. She says, "Is punishment justice?" And of course, we've seen in a lot of cases that punishing criminals actually doesn't do anything to reform them. In a lot of cases, it actually creates the opposite of the intentions.
Is reformation the goal of justice?
Well, you could castrate him.
That would be a solution.
Thanks for the call tonight, Robert. I appreciate it.
He'd definitely keep his willy to himself from there on out.
Yeah, and that would be another question. Would a jury convict if a woman went into Harvey Weinstein's hotel room and was like, "Hey, baby,"
and did a Lorena Bobbitt on
it? Yeah, and chopped off his unit? Would she actually end up being convicted?
Lorena Bobbitt was convicted, was she not?
Yeah, but she was a crazy woman who, attacked somebody, right?
Cut off her husband.
I watched that entire trial with my mother. What that man did to her,
what did he do
to her, was
I don't
heinous.
remember the story.
Like forced sodomy, rape her over and over, beat her,
I didn't know that.
Physically assault her. Like,
it's been so long.
If you heard the testimony that she gave of what she went through in that house, the fact she didn't cut that thing off years ago.
But why did she stay? Was it the typical abused spouse kind of thing?
Yeah, typical abused spouse kind of thing. Plus, I think she was an immigrant, so it would have affected her immigration status.
So he had her trapped, kind of.
She was trapped, and he knew it, and he victimized her over and over again. I don't think it's right that she did it, but I'm not surprised. If you corner a bear... and it mauls you,
hey,
I'm not shocked.
Hey, we got more coming up here. Plenty of time for you if you want to join us on the radio. Our toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
From the third letter of Captain Mark. The Crown's observation conditions us to be dishonest with ourselves. Therefore, constant surveillance produces a society of constant deception. Honest communication is the seed of civilized conduct. To deny us this seed is to deny us its fruits. But the Crown's primary objective is to stifle free thought itself, to make its subjects incapable of dissent. Seasoned pirates have always encrypted messages and codes and ciphers, so intercepted transmissions were incomprehensible. But today the Crown possesses advanced tools of pattern recognition that document, profile, and predict our every move. Today, piracy requires hailing frequencies completely invisible to the Crown. We are tired of poltergeists in the static. Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels, or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial toll free and join us here if you want. The number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and you're invited to join us there. Skype username is LRN.FM. Bitcoin.com. That's the place you want to go if you want to learn about cryptocurrency, because you got to start with the original. You got to start with learning about Bitcoin, what it was and what it has become. It's been a crazy 9 years, and really, it's not too late for you to get involved in cryptocurrency. It is really kind of just getting started. It hasn't even hit $1 trillion yet, as though that's some small number. It's huge. Cryptocurrency is tremendous. And if you want to learn the basics, go to Bitcoin.com. They'll help educate you about that. If you're old school, if you already know the basics, then go to Bitcoin.com. Check out their news site. It's super useful with all kinds of information, updated daily with the latest headlines from across the world in Bitcoin. Check it out at news.bitcoin.com. In the studio tonight with you, it's Ian,
Mike,
and Will.
So, Mike, I know you wanted to talk tonight about drones taking to the skies in New York State this time.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about the
Empire State.
The drone bill that had failed here in New Hampshire to...
did that fail? I'm glad to hear that failed. Okay, good.
To restrict private ownership of drones. So in New York, the state police are soon going to begin using unmanned drones to help support law enforcement missions like, quote, public safety, disaster response, and traffic safety.
So they're not going to mount a machine gun to them yet? Okay.
But they're going to deploy them around the state, starting upstate in western New York, in central and the Hudson River, and around the capital region. So, and they're starting off with 4, but by the end of 2018, they want to have 14 aerial drones deployed throughout the state. And so for various things from number one, surveying crime scenes and traffic accident scenes to get a good aerial view of the goings-on, but also to monitor traffic in dense areas.
Or do whatever other kind of investigations they think they can do with a drone, like, you know, want to look into somebody's backyard to see if they're growing marijuana plants, just buzz your little drone over their house. A lot cheaper to use the drone than to, gas up a helicopter, and it's a lot less detectable.
Or surveil someone's private party in their private property.
Right. Oh, are those underagers drinking in that backyard?
Are they
over
smoking
there?
something funny?
Yeah. I remember it was the 420s. Every year on 420, April 20th, here in New Hampshire, we have a mass smokeout at the State House, and it's been going on now, I think, for 9 years, 8 or 9 years. And this year was the first year that a mystery drone showed up over top of this event. And so we're all, there's people token up at right out in front of the State House, and then bzzz, you see this drone just kind of floating up there, and there wasn't anybody obviously in the crowd with a controller, so it didn't seem like it was one of the people who was there at the event that was doing it. And earlier in that that event, there was a cop that was positioned in an unmarked vehicle. I think it was obviously a cop car, though. It had one of those mirrors on the side, or the spotlights on the side, and he looked like a cop. So, I mean, it was pretty clearly an undercover cop. And I had taken my camera. When I noticed him there, I took my camera over and just set it down and pointed it at him. I set the tripod down and just pointed the camera at him. He rolled up his window and got out of there within like 1 minute. As soon as he saw me there, he took off. But I thought it was suspicious that we were definitely being monitored by an unmarked cruiser, and then all of a sudden this drone shows up over top of the people. And I also could have sworn I saw red and blue lights on that drone, because I could have sworn it looked actually like it was a cop drone.
Interesting. Yeah. So these drones in New York are not being funded by the taxpayer. They're being donated to the police by the policemen's union.
Okay.
So interesting source of funding that they're getting this equipment from.
It's hard, it's hard for somebody who is concerned about spending to object to a donation coming in.
Right.
For this.
So there's no taxpayer oversight on this sort of thing, and then it's just a matter of, are they authorized to use this equipment and how?
Well, I would guess that they can get whatever kind of authorizations for spying on people in New York State.
It is New York, yes.
I think they're going to have a tougher time in New Hampshire, and again, is it illegal? Should it be illegal for the police to use a drone to gather information?
Currently, no. But the only real limitations are on how close to people's public property they can fly the drones to surveil on suspected illegal activity. So, but there is a presumption of some kind of a range that they can. But when you've got current high quality zoom optics and cameras, being 50 yards outside the property line, you can
not
still
a big restriction.
Not a big restriction, and you can, even if you've got a thermal camera, you can see what's going on inside the home.
That's no good.
And so there's,
that needs to be restricted.
Oh, definitely. So there's a lot of iffy types of activities with different technologies and that sort of thing.
I'd say, go ahead, Will.
As long as it's private, I don't care.
Well, right, but it isn't. We're talking about
what if it's
about police?
Private, I don't care. Well, that's my point. Is like, as long as it's private, I don't care.
You're still going to have a parallel construction problem. So let's say the police are prohibited from operating them. There wouldn't be anything prohibiting them from contracting a private agency to surveil people for them.
Really?
I don't know.
See, that's
because if it's a privately owned drone, and
I don't think that the police should be able to hire a private entity to be able to do anything they can't do by law.
If somebody comes voluntarily and says, "Officer, I was recording with my drone and I saw this assault happen," then that's fine.
Yeah, and the guy happens to be a retired cop with his own private investigation. Agency, and hint, wink, wink.
I think
is it admissible? They'll have to write a whole set of admissibility laws.
It's the whole parallel construction, just like with the NSA, that is surveilling through the PRISM program so many different websites and networks these days, and they don't use that information in court, but they're informing law enforcement as to what's going on and what to look for, so then the law enforcement can then go and look for actual evidence they can use in court.
Yeah.
And so,
that used to be straight up illegal.
It used to be, but it's the fruit of the poison vine.
Poison tree,
Fruit of the poison vine. But the fact is that that's why they call it parallel construction and not serial construction. So it's like the NSA is over here and they just happen to notice something, and then they said, well, you may want to look at this. And so it's really kind of trying to keep things at arm's length, but still make some kind of a signal to law enforcement as to things that are going on.
If you want to share your thoughts on police drones, you're certainly welcome to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Drones have come a long way, too, as far as the technology is concerned. They used to be super easy to crash when they first came out, and now they have like anti-crashing tech that makes it very hard.
A lot of good AI stability going on and self-guidance.
Auto landing and stuff like that. Like if they get out of range, they'll return on their own and land on their own. Pretty neat stuff. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. You can join us here. The EU may be clamping down on Bitcoin. We'll tell you about it coming up. Free Talk Live.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free. If you want, take control of the airwaves, bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number here, 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, 855-450-3733, and join us online. Head over to freetalklive.com. Enjoy the features that we've got waiting for you. You can enjoy them on us. We give them away. But if you want to, you can also support the show by becoming a Free Talk Live amplifier at amp.freetalklive.com, ampamp.freetalklive.com. It's $5 a month with any major credit card, with PayPal. We also take Bitcoin Core at the moment. Maybe we'll be able to expand that out one of these days, but I got to pay programmers to make it possible to take other stuff. So if you want to pay with something else, you can just email me and we'll figure it out. But go to amp.freetalklive.com and you can learn more about the AMP program and how it's money that we take in and invest into Free Talk Live so we can get on more radio stations coming up soon. We've got a big station. This might be the biggest station we've ever had coming on board with Free Talk Live, and I can't say anything more than that because I don't want to. You can't say anything in advance, or sometimes I swear it jinxes it. Like if you announce a station before they actually come on, it's like, oh well, now we're not coming on for another 3 weeks. Not because they knew that you announced them. It's just sometimes the universe just works it out. Just works it out that way. So I don't want to be embarrassed, and have them have a delay and then they didn't start. So I'm excited though. It's a big market. It's a market that let's say is big in New England. That's about all I can say at this point. So it's going to be a big one.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's because of listeners like you. It was actually our guy Skip Jokel, who we pay with the AMP dollars. He's like an old school industry veteran in radio. He's got like a big old beard, and he's been around forever, and he's a consultant basically. And stations come to him because they know him. Like he's been around, so he knows everybody. And so they come to him. They say, Skip, I need something for a weekend. What do you got? And that's when he says, I got Cigar Dave, I got Free Talk Live, I got, the Money Pit, some of these big names. If you listen to talk radio, you know those names, Cigar Dave, Money Pit, and Free Talk Live is in there as one of his sort of repertoire of shows that he can offer to these guys. So Skip can kind of set up deals for us where we bring new stations on that we would never have a chance of getting otherwise. Like we can't get through to these program directors. These are the big station, big market kind of guys that they never pick up the phone. It's hard to get through to those guys. They've got gatekeepers. They don't have time to talk. Skip's the kind of guy who can get those guys on the horn. They call him asking for what to put on the air, and he recommends Free Talk Live. So that's some of the places that the AMP money is going to. You can go to amp.freetalklive.com, and you can learn more there about how the AMP program works and where the money is being spent. It is helping us get on more radio stations across the country. We've got over 160 great stations that air this show. So those of you watching us on Twitch, for instance, for the first time this week, which we just started doing, it may seem like we're an internet show. We're not. We're actually doing this on broadcast radio, so that's why if you call in and you drop the F-bomb, we got to get rid of you. But otherwise, you can pretty much call in and talk about any issue that you want to discuss.
Is that Frank?
Nope, don't keep guessing. It's a 4-letter. It's a 4-letter F-bomb. The toll-free number here if you want to join us.
Fool! I pity the fool.
Yeah.
Fool.
855-450-FREE, like freedom. Again, go to the AMP program, amp.freetalklive.com. And there was actually an interesting suggestion about the Discord chat, which is our new chat service that's going on right now over at discord.lrn.fm. Stefan, who set it up last night, said, well, why don't you guys do like an AMP-only chat room on the Discord? That might be pretty cool. And I said, yeah, that would be actually pretty easy to set up from what I can tell. I said, well, let's just hold off. Let's see how the Discord thing does in general. And if people want that, then we could set that up.
Yeah.
That might be fun. So, yeah, all kinds of cool options. If you're an amplifier, you get some cool perks that nobody else gets access to. So go and check out all the details on what you get as an amplifier at amp.freetalklive.com. Now, I mentioned this story, I think last night, Will, but we never got to it. And actually, it's been sitting in my show prep for a couple weeks now. It's out of Brussels, and Reuters reporting that European Union states and legislators agreed recently on stricter rules to prevent money laundering and terrorism financing on exchange platforms for Bitcoin and other virtual currencies, the EU said in a statement. The agreement is part of a broader set of measures to tackle financial crimes and tax evasion. EU legislators also backed stricter controls on prepaid cards and raised transparency requirements for the owners of trusts and companies.
And that explains why Visa just came down on its own subsidiary in Europe.
Yeah, were you saying off the air last night that they cracked down on Bitcoin debit cards?
Yeah, the preloaded Bitcoin debit cards being issued in Europe by a subsidiary of Visa.
There's a few competitors.
There's a few. Like, for instance, 10X is one of their customers, and there's a number of other companies.
WireX, isn't that one of them?
And so they were what Visa said was the reason was that the subsidiary was issuing cards across borders, which means that if you are issued a card, it needs to be issued from a bank in your country.
Okay.
So what they were doing is if you're in Germany and you order a card, you might get it issued from a bank in France, and that's against Visa
illegal.
rules. And they kept doing it. And
wait, it's against Visa's rules or the EU's rules?
It's against Visa's rules. And it may be Visa may have those rules to comply with the EU.
Probably.
But there are other services that, like the Monaco card deals with another service that provides a card that is global, so they'd have a completely different rule set. But all of these preloaded cards that were through this subsidiary were just shut off overnight. And lots of people were left stranded. Traveling and so forth. And
this is why you should have more than one card.
Right. And the media at that time was trying to report that all Bitcoin cards had just been shut off by Visa. That wasn't true.
Okay.
Because, I saw that and I'm saying, well, geez, let me try my Shift card. And it's like,
okay. Good to know. So only affecting certain EU areas, certain cards, not all of them.
Right.
Okay.
And companies like 10X has said they already have a new issuer, and they're sending out new cards to all their customers, and I think some of the other companies are doing something similar. But it's going to take time to get those cards out to people, and I'm sure it's caused a lot of problems for the customers to deal with that sort of thing.
So I'm still not sure how exactly cracking down on cryptocurrency exchanges does anything to stop terrorist funding, because why would it matter if a terrorist has some Vertcoin and they want to exchange that into Litecoin? I don't see why.
Yeah, it's really
matter.
It's what we call it's a shibboleth. It's an excuse. Just like before we came up with BitGold back in the day, they were using the same excuse to go after the gold and silver backed digital currencies. It was terrorism, money laundering, and drug smuggling.
Yeah. It's just total fearmonger. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Today's agreement, they say, will bring more transparency to improve the prevention of money laundering and to cut off terrorist financing, said Europe's Justice Commissioner Vera Jourova. The EU decision comes as Bitcoin's prices have risen more than 1,700% since the start of the year. This was back in 2017 when this was written at the mid-December, triggering worries that the market is a bubble that could burst in spectacular fashion. The agreed measures will end anonymous transactions on virtual currency platforms and with prepaid payment cards, which investigators said could have been used to fund attacks by militants. Bitcoin exchange platforms and wallet providers.
Funding attacks, $200 payment limits at a time.
Now wait, are you saying that there's payment limits on some of these cards?
So you can only charge so much per day. Even if you've loaded a bunch.
Even with the Shift card or whatever?
Well, with the Shift card, for instance, I have a $1,000 per day limit. Even no matter how much crypto I've got on my Coinbase account. And I just yelled at them today because I'm like, hey, I'm traveling. I need to have a higher limit. And they bumped it up to $1,250. And I'm like, come on, guys, you can do better than this. I said, well, you just got this card. You have less than 200 charges on it, so that's the best we can do.
That's what you get for using Coinbase.
And, well, And I just went through the same.
The rest of them probably aren't that much
I just went through the same argument with PayPal over my PayPal debit card, and they were actually nicer. They gave me a much higher limit.
Wow.
And, so
that's a surprise. All right, there's more coming up here about what's going on with the EU. And, does anybody really buy this claim that somehow operating a cryptocurrency exchange somehow increases the funding of terrorism? I think it's crap.
It's very easy to track criminal activity on the blockchain.
There's more coming up here in moments. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. This is Free Talk Live. Unless you're using Monero or Zcash, it's Free Talk Live.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out Dash.org for more information. And get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Good morning. Later this afternoon, I will be engaging in an extramarital affair. Of course, I will wish that I had never made the horrible mistake I'm about to spend several hours making, but sadly, I'm currently too blinded by greed and lust to care about or consider the consequences of my actions. The liaison I will be taking part in shortly with two poor deaf teenage runaways is in direct opposition to the values you elected me to uphold. I also wish to apologize to my wife, Linda, to my two beautiful children, Allison and Christopher. It hurts me more than you will ever know that this scandal will impact your life so terribly. I can only pray that the revelations you will soon hear concerning my fetishes, physical flexibility, and penis will not scar you to the point of dementia. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get to the hotel immediately, so I will not be taking questions. Thank you.
This is the Onion News Network.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1. Share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Dial toll-free and take control of the airwaves. Bring up anything that you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. Skype username here is LRN.FM. And I do want you to know about Whole Food Multi-Complete. And there's some good news about them. They've been offering some great nutritional supplements. In fact, as Daryl had pointed out today, they're now accepting Dash at Whole Food Multi-Complete. And we've been talking about their products here, and that they actually take a bunch of different supplements and blend them together into a single product, taking the expense and complexity out of following a complete supplement program. So rather than spending $150 a month buying 5 bottles of product from wherever else, you just get Whole Food Multi-Complete. They've been doing this for 15 years and providing people with a really great value. But we've talked about in the past how they were accepting Bitcoin, and I just kind of stopped mentioning on the air that they're taking Bitcoin because I know nobody wants to spend Bitcoin anymore. I mean, you're not going to want to go and buy some supplements and then pay another $20 on top with a Bitcoin fee
and wait an hour and a half
in order to pay because the Bitcoin delays
and spend Bitcoin that'll buy you a Lambo in 5 years.
But now you can spend Dash over at SimplifyMySupplements.com. So you can go and get Whole Food Multi-Complete. You can still get 10% off your order using code FTL. Now you do have to send them an email to get you have to send them the email to use cryptocurrency. So now they're accepting Dash, so just shoot them an email, and they'll make sure you mention code FTL when you do that. That way you get your 10% off every time you order, by the way. Your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back, and they are taking Dash now over at SimplifyMySupplements.com.
I actually, the Bitcoin thing, it reminded me that I have a friend of mine. He's been a really good friend for like 10 years now. He's an attorney in Orlando, Florida. His name's Syed Qadri. And he made a post today. He says, and Bitcoin is giving cryptocurrency a bad rap. Says, I initiated my first Bitcoin transaction ever at 11:17 p.m. It finally went through at 12:07 a.m. And this, quote, coin is currently trading at $15,330 and is going to upend the banking system with a 50-minute transfer?
No.
Sure.
Well, I would have to say that that's annoying, and there are faster ways to move your money around.
Yeah.
But
it's almost faster to send a wire transfer. But it's faster and cheaper in some cases.
It depends on who's sending it and where.
I've seen banks charging as little as $15 for a wire transfer, and I've seen wires clear into accounts in under an hour.
I couldn't send $35,000 with a Bitcoin for $25.
I can't get a wire into my credit union in less than 4 days.
The hell's wrong with your credit union?
I sent a wire from...
Are you talking about ACH?
No,
ACH takes
this was a wire that was supposed to be 24 hours. It took 4 days.
That's unusual.
Yeah.
Are you counting the weekend?
No.
Okay.
I sent one to Colorado just the other day. It was, boom.
Yeah.
Out of my account and in their account in 24 hours.
I'm no fan of the Federal Reserve, but the wiring system is faster than Bitcoin today. I'm sorry. That's just generally the truth. Maybe yours was a fluke or something like that.
To give you an idea of just how bad it is, okay, nobody sitting at this table besides me has ever heard of Flashcoin. I'm going to just about
never heard of it.
Guarantee that anybody that didn't listen to the Call to Freedom today has ever heard of Flashcoin outside of now.
Okay.
And I just sent $10 in Flashcoin to a contest winner, and it literally I hit send, and he sent me the message, got it.
Yeah.
As soon as I hit send, it was instant. Instant, in a flash.
That's the way it should be.
In a flash. I mean, the coin has already earned its name.
But the point that this guy's making is that Bitcoin is ruining cryptocurrency for people because if that's their first experience, they're not going to be impressed. It's not, and you don't want to introduce people to Bitcoin anymore.
Yeah,
it's an embarrassment.
It shouldn't take more than 20 or 30 minutes for it to go through. But
it shouldn't. It shouldn't take more than 10 minutes for a confirmation on Bitcoin. But unless you pay top dollar for fees, you ain't getting a 10-minute confirmation.
A lot of these, they're requiring more than one confirmation now. I mean, if I'm doing a transfer of Bitcoin, Coinbase, you got to get 6 confirmations.
Yep.
I had 4 zeros in front of a 1
And that's not the only one.
Transaction cost to send $10.
You know,
so.
Ether was doing, I think, was it 40 confirmations?
What happened? Recently, Ether shot up back. It displaced Ripple,
over
taking over number 2.
I was
It was like 1,300 when I looked earlier. What happened? Was there some kind of news that hit? I don't know.
There was a major pump that was supposed to start today.
Really?
Yeah, it was all over the Discord chats. Even some of our friends were talking about it on Telegram. Like, hey man, there's a big pump coming. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm in those chat rooms too. I just don't ever talk. I'm the fly on the wall.
Now, in other financial-related news, USA Today reporting that Americans' outstanding credit card debt has hit a record high as of November.
Mine's 0.
Highlighting, good for you, man.
Mine
That's the way
too.
to go. Me too. Highlighting a more confident U.S. consumer, which is a strange way to put financial,
ruin,
poor financial decisions.
As opposed to a producer.
Yeah,
right.
But also flashing a warning signal of potential trouble down the road. Revolving credit, which is mostly credit cards that make up this number, increased by $11.2 billion to be over $1 trillion, $1.023 trillion, according to the Federal Reserve this week. That nudged the figure past the $1.021 trillion high watermark reached in April of 2008, which was just before the housing and credit bubbles burst. Over the past year, revolving credit has surged by $55 billion, or up 5.7%. So more Americans loading up their credit card with even more debt.
The banking system is starting to hype credit again.
I want to.
They were tight for after the 2008 crisis for a number of years, even with businesses not doing, loans to long-established businesses that had previously not had any trouble getting access to credit. And I've seen a number of businessmen that I know who had seen their credit limits cut by more than half on cards they'd had for 10, 20 years. And, so they're starting to loosen up. I mean, I got a letter from my own credit union that I hate.
You hate your credit union?
I hate my credit union. And they just sent me a letter suggesting that I get a credit card with them. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Now, why do you hate your credit union? Because normally people have good experiences with credit unions. I mean, generally, they know your name. They, got better rates.
Oh, they know my name because I've complained and cried and bitched at them many often about
it. Are you a troubled customer, or are you...
They take so darn long to move money to credit the money that I'm depositing.
Like when you put a check in there, it takes too long?
Oh, yeah. I got a check from a local businessman who was investing in my company. Okay. Business check. 10 grand.
Yep.
His bank is literally right across the street from mine.
Yep.
Okay. My credit union wanted 4 days to clear this check.
Now, were you a new account?
No. I've been with them since 2014.
Okay.
And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And I'm like, so I'm trying to be a nice guy, so I said, okay,
sure.
And I go and talk to my CFO, and my CFO isn't so friendly, so he gets and he's yelling at them on the phone about it, and they call me and said, please come back in, and they give me the check, and they say, if you walk across the street and
cash it,
and they'll give you a cashier's check and come over here and we'll credit to your account. And I was like, why didn't you suggest this to me earlier?
Well, maybe they didn't think you needed the money soon. I mean, generally, if you have a check, you should expect it's going to take a few days, right?
A few days, but 4 days? And I specifically asked, when is this money going to be cleared?
Well, I know that my credit union, they will lock down and put an extended hold on certain checks if it's over a certain amount, and it seems to be up to the clerk, because I deposited a check this week that they cleared the next day, and it was a fairly large check. So there doesn't seem to be any consistency in what numbers or why these things happen.
And here's the funny thing is with these checks, if you bring a check into the bank, okay, they know instantly whether it's a good check or not.
How?
If they can, because it all goes straight to the Federal Reserve.
That's not possible.
This is how it works. They will tell you if it's insufficient funds if the funds are not there.
I've had fake checks deposited in my accounts, and they don't know until a few days later.
Well, I'm seeing this where if the check is no good, they know instantly.
Wow.
But if the check is good, they still want 4 days to be able to put it in your account.
Even if it's not drawn on their own bank.
And because they want the float, the time to basically use your money on the money markets.
Think that's what it is?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
Now, something that I just observed just right here that I would really like to see in the future or learn in the future. The three of us all were like, I have no debt. How prevalent is it in the cryptocurrency community to not have a credit card and not have credit card debt?
Excellent question. I have credit cards, but I don't have any debt because I pay the bills every month. All right, so we'll see you tomorrow online. In the meantime, maybe make a note. We can talk about that at another time, but we'll see you in the meantime at freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, January 10th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.11 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,322 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $61, and the average price of Bitcoin is $13,961. Antiwar.com reports at least a dozen civilians were reported killed in Yemen's Taiz province overnight when Saudi warplanes attacked a line of coal trucks shipping coal out of Hais district, killing a number of drivers within. It's unclear why coal trucks would be targeted in the first place, and Saudi officials gave no indication of why they carried out a strike, though such strikes have been on the rise in Taiz as pro-Saudi forces try to gain territory. Saudi interest in Taiz, however, and the increased airstrikes don't seem to be particularly focused on military targets, but as with the rest of the country, the strikes are heavily focused on civilian infrastructure. Coal is important for electricity generation within Yemen and also for heating in some of the more mountainous northern regions. It is likely the coal was headed north, deeper into rebel territory.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports U.S. Supreme Court justices on Tuesday wrestled with the scope of police authority to search vehicles without warrants, with Chief Justice John Roberts referencing the shiny red convertible taken for a joyride in the 1986 comedy film Ferris Bueller's Day Off to make a serious legal point. The justices heard arguments in two cases in which convicted defendants are seeking to have key evidence against them thrown out because it was obtained by police officers through vehicle searches conducted without a court-issued warrant. One case involved a stolen motorcycle that was covered by a tarp and parked on private property. The other involved a rental car driven by a man who was not named on the agreement with the rental agency. At issue is whether police in the two cases violated the U.S. Constitution's Fourth Amendment, which protects against unreasonable searches and seizures. In the motorcycle case, Roberts and other justices seemed concerned about issuing a broad ruling in favor of law enforcement that would let police officers not just inspect the immediate area outside a property without a warrant, but also potentially inside a house if a vehicle was located in there. Under the Fourth Amendment, police need a warrant to search a house unless there is an emergency situation. In the case of convicted defendant Ryan Collins, the motorcycle was a few feet from the house. In Ferris Bueller's Day Off, starring Matthew Broderick, three teenagers skip school and take a ride in a red Ferrari that was parked inside a showroom-type space apparently attached to a house. After mentioning the film's car, Roberts asked Trevor Cox, the state of Virginia's lawyer who was defending the police search, whether he was arguing that police can just go into a house without a warrant because a car is mobile and they got it in there somehow so they can get it out. Other justices voiced similar concerns, including Neil Gorsuch, who seemed troubled about police officers being able to search garages and other outbuildings without a warrant. Cox said existing legal precedent allowing police to search vehicles without a warrant when they have probable cause should extend to vehicles kept on private property, potentially including those kept in garages, although he said the court could exclude dwellings. The second case involved a defendant named Terrence Bird, who was stopped by police in 2014 while driving a car his girlfriend had rented. Police said they could search his car without a warrant and without his consent because he was not listed on the rental agreement. The officers found heroin and a bulletproof vest in the car. Justice Stephen Breyer appeared to support a ruling that would prohibit a warrantless search in such a case if the driver has the permission of the person named in the rental agreement to use the vehicle, as long as the driver did not commit a crime in taking possession of the car. Rulings in both cases are due by the end of June.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Turning to health news, doctors at Johns Hopkins Medical School have discovered that bones are the coolest part of the body. The 10-year study found that although the body has many cool things in it, nothing is cooler than your skeleton.
Just think about it. You have this soft, fleshy body, but inside of it, there's a second, tinier body that's made out of a super hard rock. Our data is conclusive. Bones are very, very cool.
To conduct the study, researchers examined every single body part and determined how cool or uncool it was.
We initially thought the brain might be the coolest part because it's like a computer that runs on food. But when we looked at it up close, it was all gross and wrinkled. Brains are not cool. Bones are cool.
Doctors discovered that there are big, strong bones like baseball bats in your arms and legs, hand bones that look like a monster claw, and skull bones that make a scary face. Doctors did caution that as cool as human bones are, they're not nearly as cool as dinosaur bones.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here!
No fear, 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 no fear. Here on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the beautiful studios of Freedom with an S, Phoenix, that's the best I can do. Oh, I just got it. All right, what we're going to do today is we have John McAfee is coming on, and then we're going to get caught up on all things CDC and FDA and NIH and everything with Dr. Judy Mikovits. A couple of weeks ago and find out what's up. What's up? Well, Trump's doing a bunch of, do we want to talk about Trump? Well, it's his reaction to all this other stuff. And I'm just, this Iran thing is that, do we want to get into it? We'll do the news. Well, here we have John McAfee. I'll get, a couple of highlights here. One, he goes, I'll eat my dick if Bitcoin doesn't hit $1 million by 2020. All right. Well, I either get to see that Cirque du Soleil thing or I get $1 million for, keep on Bitcoin, and it cost me $100,000 to use it. But it's just, it's going to be interesting to hear what he has to say about that in the next hour. Then we have, but it's useful. He's like, hey, man, John McAfee admits he paid for hookers and drugs and crypto. McAfee tweet suggests widespread acceptance of Bitcoin in Amsterdam. He's going, hey, man, as long as you can buy hookers and blow, then you're all good. Blow and blow. All right. So it's got wide enough spread acceptance, but I don't see how you could use it. I mean, it's just with the transaction fees. I'm like, damn, this better be an expensive hooker because, hell no. I'd use Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, that's it. We'll talk about that, too. You'll see what he has to say. John McAfee's Twitter and phone got hacked to promote other cryptos. Hey, if John McAfee said it, then boom, it's to the moon with whatever the heck. You go, hey, I didn't do that. Somebody's hacking me. So he made sure everybody knew that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Also, he had his privacy phone. Last time we had John McAfee on, by now there's going to be a new privacy hard switch off the radio and the GPS and the microphone and the camera. And you just go, you know what? Then the soft switch, it says it's off. It's I said it's disconnected off. The FBI going to come, let's say, will come over here and push the button on my phone. Boom, it's off. And I'm going, okay, can I have one? He goes, yes, you can, Ernie. So I'm going to be a butthead about it. I say, hey, man. So what's up with my phone, man? What's up? So we're going to find out about that. Let's see. Bob's Repair, the decentralized marketplace for the state's skilled trade industry, and John McAfee, a senior advisor, announced token presale. Bob's Repair, whatever the heck that means. All right, so we're going to have Bob's Repair, the company. The decentralized platform, which aims to eliminate review fraud and provide lower pricing in the home repair industry of the United States, announced its token presale yesterday. What? Bob's Repair, a decentralized platform which aims to eliminate review fraud and provide lower pricing. Oh, it's like Angie's List or something. They're going to ask, screw the women. We're going to be Bob's Repair, to where a token is used to, you have to use this token. You got to pay or token that you get when you order the repair or have the handyman come, and you do a review of them so you can trust the review more. You got to pay to review. Or it's not, it's like you get a blanket of a bunch of guys in Pakistan, the Philippines, doing a review of how great and wonderful you are, and it's just all made up, So that's interesting. See, use case. Good eye and did. All right, so we'll talk about that. And let's see, what else Donna got for me? Here's what the experts say about Bitcoin in 2018. Like I care. When have they been right? It's just, blah.